annual High School Football Media Days, brought to you by Orthopedic Clinic. I'm Eddie Owen. This is my buddy, my co-host for High School Football Scoreboard Show, Jerry Bavaro.
How you guys doing?
I tell you what, it's nice to be here. 2020 has been a weird year.
Crazy year.
And here we are, though, kicking off football season, and we have our masks. So any of y'all that think that we're not doing what we're supposed to, we are. We're waiting for Coach Savarese, who is the director of AHSAA. Should be in here in just a minute. We're in a different location this year. We've been at Southern Union the last couple of years, and today we're at the Event Center in downtown Opelika, and what a beautiful place it is. If you've never been here, the setup is great. Just a few little things to cover before we get started. We're live on 9:10 a.m., 13:10 a.m., The Game. We're also being covered by WOTM TV. One announcement that I wanted to make, Jerry, was that AHSAA is going to have a press conference at 1 p.m. Thursday, and they're going to talk about the state of high school football and sports in Alabama. We're going to have a little different. The schedule has changed just a little bit this morning. Coach Savarese has not made it in yet. So we're going to start with Coach Jason Allen from Chambers Academy. Bridesmaid again last year.
Yeah, 2 years ago they won it all. Last year it looked like they were going to win it all again. They fell short, but this program is a perennial power in 1A private school football, and look for him to be right there again.
He's loaded again. He's been there since 2013. His record is 69-18, and he's been to the state championship game, 3 or 4 years in a row?
4 years in a row, and it's hard to believe. You look at his son, the quarterback. He's finally a senior.
Isn't that the truth? Boy, he's been
10 years.
He's been there forever and ever, hasn't he? We'd like to thank Orthopedic Clinic which is East Alabama's go-to center for orthopedic care, for presenting this again this year. Any of you that need to have some orthopedic work done, that is a great place to go. We also have Frederick Dean Funeral Home, Economy Heating and Air, Auburn Bank, Butcher Paper Barbecue, and Jeffcoat Trent Funeral Home sponsoring. A lot of things have happened, Jerry. How has golf been?
Well, I hate to say it, golf has been crazy. We've been busy. About the only thing to do the last 3 months is play golf. We do social distancing outside, and it's been packed. A lot of people out of work, so they come play golf.
Just did a tournament?
We just had our big invitational, and everything's going good golf-wise, but I'd sure like the economy to start turning around and get back to normal. Still got a long road, but let's be optimistic. Maybe we'll get this high school football season in.
All right, we're going to the podium with Van Riggs.
All right, welcome in to our 2020 Fox Sports 910, 1310 a.m. The Game High School Football Media Days. Our schedule has Coach Steve Savarese speaking first, but he is in transit here, and he'll be here in just a few minutes. So our first team is already in the building, so we'll go ahead and get started. Our next coach has done an exceptional job at Chambers Academy. They have a stellar record. I'll let him. I don't want to mess it up. I know it is. It's just 4 home games that you've lost in 4 years or something like that. 4 total games in 4 years. Okay, yeah. Unbelievable. And Chambers Academy just moving up to 2A and AISA after dominating 1A. So let's bring them up. Chambers Academy, Coach Jason Allen, and the Chambers Academy Rebels.
Good morning. Hope everybody's doing good this morning. Every year, as is become the tradition, we kick off this thing. So I won't mind telling you, our guys like being first to just about anything we can try to be first at. So we're glad to be first here today to kick off this great event. We'd like to thank Van and D-Mark and iHeartRadio the orthopedic clinic, all these sponsors. High school football is alive and well in Alabama. We take it very serious, and this is a fantastic area to be a part of, high school football. We're very excited. We've had a lot of challenges this year that nobody's ever experienced before, but we're going to roll with it, and we're very excited to be here before you today. Just a little bit about our program. As Van said, over the last 4 years, our record is 48-4, which it's been a great ride for our kids. We've had some fantastic moments. We had a great season last year. Really did some great things, and our team came up just a hair short, but still did some exceptional things. Just a few firsts for the first time last year in the history of our school. We were ranked number 1 in AISA. That's all classes combined in AISA, because you know they rank all their teams together. We were ranked number 1 going into the final game of the year with a very highly ranked Bessemer team, and we were 9-0. Lost a really tough game to them, who became the 3A state champs and have perennially been a very strong team in our league. And then we got things back on track and made it to our 5th consecutive state championship game, which has been nothing but a testament to our kids and our program. And we came up a little short, you know, the way it happens in life sometimes, to a team that we had beaten by 3 touchdowns earlier in the year. But taking nothing away from that team, it was a fantastic season. That was a fantastic group of young men. But, you know, when you play that last one and you don't quite get it, it leaves a sour taste in your mouth. And so our guys want to get that taste out of their mouth. We're very excited about this year. Again, as we've said, there's been a lot of challenges, but we got to start back June the 3rd. It's probably been the most exciting off-season that I've had as far as effort, energy, enthusiasm, and overall attendance. Our guys are there every single time we lift and run. And just really, I think, probably have taken it up another level, just realizing some of the circumstances in life that's going on in our world, and it kind of rejuvenates you, kick-starts you, and gets those batteries going to know, hey, you can't take life for granted. You can't take the game of football for granted. And we're very fortunate that we've been able to practice all summer without any interruptions, and our young people have worked their tail off. We got a great nucleus of kids coming back in our system, in our program. These guys, all 3, have been with me since Pee Wee football, and I've coached them all the way through junior high and varsity. And that's a unique experience for me. Some people say, how do you do that? Why in the world are you coaching 3 football teams? I say I wouldn't do it any other way. I know what I got coming down the pipe every year, and I got my hands on these guys. These guys right here have represented our school for the last 7 years and just done a phenomenal job. So we're excited. We feel like we're going to have a really good football team again. We are moving up a classification. This happened to me once other in my career in 1999 and 2000. In 99, we played for the state championship. We moved up to 2A, and everybody doubted our program, thought we'd win 3 or 4 games, and we ended up doing nothing less than playing for a 2A state championship that following year. So we've proven that it can be done. Good football teams, it doesn't matter what classification you're in if you play good football. And so we're expecting to make a great transition into 2A. Last year we played 4 3A teams, did very well, and held our own in several 2A. So we're no stranger to good competition, and we're going to embrace it. And we're excited about the challenge that it brings to us every week. Like I said, we do have a lot of guys that have been in our program a while. This year we have picked up some transfers in our program, which can happen in private schools from time to time, and we feel like we've picked up some young men that are going to make our team a lot more athletic, give us a lot more speed, a lot of opportunity to score, and be a more high-potent offense. And I think anytime you can put speed on the field, it gives you a great chance to excel. So we're really excited about that. These 3 young men I've got here really exemplify what Chambers Academy is about. And first and foremost, these three guys are outstanding student athletes. And they're in the classroom. These guys are straight A students. They take their studies seriously. They're competitive in the classroom the same way they are on the football field, and that says a lot about them and a lot about our program. I firmly believe you build great teams with great students, because if they're going to cut corners in the classroom, they're going to cut corners in the weight room, they're going to cut corners on the field. These guys right here are first class every time they go to compete in anything in life. Jacob Oliver to my left, I think he's an all-state player. He was all Opelika Auburn last year. He'll be a three-year starter for us at guard. He's going to play a little bit of defense too. He's just a fantastic young man, hard worker, really has built himself and his body into the young man that he is, and he's a joy to coach. He gives great effort every time he's on the field. Had one of the highest compliments. I had a coach that tell me, said, "You look like our guards pull a lot in our offense." And he said, "Looks like your guards have been doing this their whole life." And I said, "Well, they have. They've been doing it together since Pee Wee. Same terminology, same drills, same everything." And this guy right here knows it like the back of his hand. He's going to have a great senior year. Next, we have Peyton Allen. He's our quarterback. I tell you, when we line up in any football game, we feel like we have an advantage at the quarterback position. Peyton's a second-team All-State player. He's getting some heavy interest recruiting, some at the D1 level, and he's a phenomenal basketball player as well. He's been in our program for 7 years now. Last year he finished with over 1,700 yards rushing and 1,500 yards passing. I think he'll have an opportunity to become our all-time leading passer in the history of our school this year. And he's been around a long time, and he's been a joy to coach. He also happens to be my son, but it's been a great privilege and a joy, and I wouldn't do it any differently than what we've done it the last 6 or 7 years. And lastly, Cade Tarver is another young man that's really built himself into what he is, and he's a program guy for us. He plays outside linebacker. And he's just always in the right spot at the right time, doing the right thing. And that says a lot about coachability. And he's just a phenomenal young man. Does a great job for our team. He's very unselfish. He's willing to do whatever we ask him to do. He just wants to win. So this is going to be a great senior class for us. We're excited about this year. We're going to kick it off on Thursday, August the 20th, down here at Lee Scott Academy. We're very excited about that. We hope that everything goes in line with our season the way it's supposed to go, and we're trusting God. We're trusting our leaders to make wise decisions, and we're excited to be Rebels. At this time, if you have any questions or would like to speak to any of our players, then we would love to have that opportunity.
All right.
Yeah, Jason, with most of the teams that are here, the majority of them are replacing their quarterback and trying to figure that out in a very strange offseason. How big of an advantage is that you guys don't have to worry about the quarterback position given Peyton's experience and what he's been able to do?
Yeah, I think that's huge, Jordan. That's a great question. Not only does he get a lot of it at practice, he gets a lot of it at home too. So we talk about football a good deal in our household, and he knows what I'm going to call a lot of times before I call it. It's just become second nature, and I really trust him to make play calls. He knows our system so well. He understands when the defense is taking something away, okay, this is what we go to next. This is part of our system that has answers for problems. And he's just been a joy to coach, and I can't believe it's his last year. But, yes, it's an advantage having your quarterback come back, especially when he's your child.
Coach, this is actually for Peyton. Peyton, coming back for your senior year, just how excited are you? I know that you guys went really far, and the expectation for Chambers Academy is that you guys get to that last game all the time. So how excited are you for your senior year?
Yeah, I've been with a bunch of these senior guys since 6th grade, and it's flew by fast. I can't believe it's already senior year, and I'm just going to come in and work hard every day, and hope it doesn't go by too fast.
A question for all three of the players, so y'all can just take turns. Coach Allen talked about the fact y'all are moving up. How exciting is that new challenge that you're going to be playing some new teams and you guys can prove that even at Class 2A you guys are some of the teams to beat?
Right. It's a challenge, but I think our guys are ready. We've been playing higher competition the past couple of years. I think we're ready for the challenge. Got a bunch of new guys coming, fitting in, working hard with us, and I think we'll be ready.
Just moving up to 2A, ready to see what we can do, and just better competition. See if we can put up a fight, how we've been doing.
I think we'll do good because we work as hard or harder as any team in the AISA, and I feel like we're best athletically and just mentally the better team whenever we go on the field.
Hey, Coach, this is for either the players or the coach. What was that one thing or a couple of things that you guys saw in the loss to Southern Academy that you guys are working on now during practice?
Yeah, well, they did a great job of playing press man coverage on us and really getting up in our face. They realized after the first time that they felt like they could do that, and we weren't able to exploit that and throw the ball down the field. So we feel like we're a much more explosive team this year. We can get off man coverage and make you pay for putting too many guys up in there on the box. So that's what we worked really hard on. We feel like we've got some quality receivers that can run and catch, and we're going to be a more balanced football team, if that answers your question. I think anytime you can be balanced, then you got an opportunity to be successful offensively.
Coach Allen, with COVID-19 causing a lot of uncertainty, as a coach, all of these boys are your kids. But how important was it for you to, having your son, a senior, know that he's going to play this season?
Yeah, it's huge. I've had some sleepless nights and done a lot of praying. I know God's in control. He works all things out for His good, and we're trusting Him that we can be responsible. We can go back to life. We don't feel like we want to live in fear of this terrible virus. We would like to be smart, proactive. We'd like to put our kids in good situations, but we want them to experience life to the fullest. And this is a time that they'll never get back. This is a window that's closing fast. And I think we owe it to all our young people to do the best we can to figure out a way for them to continue to live life. And not be afraid, but then again, give the virus the respect that it deserves and be smart about it. We don't want to put anyone's life at risk, but we want to be able to proceed, hopefully.
Peyton, we talked earlier in the summer about the chemistry you're building with the new guys. How's that going now, about a month in?
Yeah, it's going great. A bunch of the new guys, they're fitting in, working hard. Some of them, it feels like they've been here maybe a couple years, and getting everything in. I think they're doing a great job as far as figuring everything out and working hard with us. So, yeah.
All right, I think we're just about out of time. Coach, appreciate it. Good luck to you guys moving up to 2A this year.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you for hosting this event. Thank you to our media. Y'all do a fantastic job for our young people, and you can tell it means a lot to our community. This is a great day and a great event for all of us. Y'all have a great one. Be safe. God bless.
All right, we'll take a quick break. We'll be right back with more high school football media days here on 910, 1310 a.m. The Game.
WOTM is the television provider for all Alabama High School Athletic Association championship events and special programs. WOTM is your home for the Super 7 football, state finals basketball, baseball and softball state championships, the AHSAA weekly show, and WOTM also produced the first ever football playoff show, Super 7 preview show, and reclassification reveal show. Your exclusive home for all things AHSAA is WOTM. Contact your local cable provider to request WOTM to your channel line.
While you're at home with family for the next few weeks, don't put off scheduling home repairs. Call Ox Foundation for a free estimate. With more time at home, you tend to notice things you haven't in the past. Mold and moisture in your basement or crawl space, uneven driveways, stair-step cracks in your exterior brick, uneven floors and doors. If your home is showing weakness, it's time to get strong. How strong? Oxstrong. Stay strong, Alabama.
Youth suicide. Don't want to talk about it? You should. Hi, I'm Nick Saban, head football coach at the University of Alabama. 4 out of 5 teens who attempt suicide have given clear warning signs. By knowing the warning signs associated with suicide and knowing how to help, you could save a life. Visit jasonfoundation.com and start learning how you can make a difference.
Students learn sportsmanship from us, our coaches, the administration of the school, the parents. That's how we learn sportsmanship. Sportsmanship is one of the greatest tools that we can give our student athletes. It's respecting the game you're playing. It's respecting your opponent, respecting the field of play. That's what good sportsmanship is, and enjoying the game while you're playing.
Home making you sick? Moisture and unsafe air from your crawl space can infiltrate your home, causing health hazards and high utility bills. Ox Foundation Solutions can remedy any mold or mildew problem in your home. It's time to get strong. How strong? Ox Strong. Get a free estimate from Ox Foundations.
Who's most at risk for coronavirus? People over 65, people with underlying medical conditions like heart disease, chronic lung disease, asthma, diabetes, people undergoing cancer treatment, and people with weakened immune systems. What should you do if you or a loved one is at higher risk? Avoid close contact with people. Avoid crowds. Stay home if you can. Wash your hands frequently. Learn more ways to protect yourself and others at coronavirus.gov.
I like the music.
Live on 910 AM, 1310 AM, The Game, iHeartRadio. We thank you for being here with us today. Jerry, I'm so glad to be back. We got Coach Savarese is about to talk up there and tell us a little bit about the state of football.
Yeah, hopefully we'll get some answers. You know,
Yeah,
there's a big elephant in the room, as we all know, and a lot of questions to be answered, and we're all optimistic we're going to play, but we're going to have to wait and see, Eddie.
Something else that's really interesting is we've got 75 new coaches in the state this year.
We got about 5 or 6 right here in this area.
Yes, we do. And without further ado, we're going to go to the podium to D-Mark Mitchell.
All right, good morning. Welcome back to the High School Media Days presented by the Orthopedic Clinic. We're glad to have everybody here this morning. We also appreciate not only the Orthopedic Clinic, our title sponsor, we appreciate our presenting sponsors, Frederick Dean Funeral Home, Economy Heating and Air, Auburn Bank, Butcher Paper Barbecue, and Jeff Coat Trent Funeral Home, some fine businesses that patronize high school sports. It is my pleasure, ladies and gentlemen and members of the media, to introduce our next guest is here to speak, and I certainly appreciate Coach Sal for coming over this morning. At the time that we scheduled this appearance, there was not a board meeting tomorrow, a big board meeting. So it is my privilege to introduce the Executive Director of the Alabama High School Athletic Association. He's not only our head, but he's also the President-elect of the NFHS, and that's a tall title for Coach Sal, not only to be the Director of Alabama's High School Athletic Association, but to be the President-elect of the National Federation of High School Association. And he will take over as President 1 year in July. So with no further ado, I bring to the microphone my good friend, Coach Steve Savarese.
Good morning, everybody. Good morning, everybody. Y'all look like you're happy to be here this morning. I'm not really happy to be here this morning. When D-Mark scheduled this with me a while back, we didn't have all these issues out there, and when I make a commitment to do something, I'm going to do it. D-Mark's been a long-time friend, and I appreciate him very much. And D-Mark, I want to tell you how much I appreciate all you do for high school athletics. You've had a long and storied career supporting kids. You supported them kids through the youth And, you know, God's going to bless you 1,000-fold for all you've given back for so many. And what a great profession that I am privileged to be part of working with students my entire life. You know, this last week we held our summer conference. And in holding our summer conference, we had to do it virtually this year because of COVID. And in that room, we had a group from Central Phoenix City High School led by their teacher, Tim Lorman, and their students who facilitated the video portion of the conference. And I think that's what I miss the most when I watch those students do a wonderful job producing our event. I was so thankful for all of our educators and all they do to support kids, especially coaches. You know, I know our world would be in a much better place today if everyone practiced the safety guidelines that our coaches have been practicing since June the 4th. When our coaches started June 4th, they wore masks. You know, our mayor of Montgomery, I'm very proud of our mayor of Montgomery. I live in Montgomery. I have my granddaughter with us this week in Montgomery, Alabama. And everywhere we go, we wear a mask. And we wear a mask for the health, safety, and well-being, not only of us, but for those around us. Montgomery was the hot spot in our state regarding COVID-19 a month ago. And because of his courage and his leadership and asking us all to wear masks and mandating it, he's cut the amount of COVID-19 cases in half in Montgomery. I think we can all learn statewide, all of us learned, that it's truly important that we all wear masks during this virus. I'm thankful the governor instituted a mandate that we all wear a mask in public, and I encourage all of you to do it. Many of you, there's some people that have a viewpoint that this is not real or it does affect people, as our son-in-law has tested positive for COVID-19. So it is something that we all are concerned about. But if we do what we're asked to do, we can all learn how to live with the virus. And that's the key for us, is learning how to mitigate the possibility of receiving this terrible virus out there. We are looking forward to starting football practice as normal the week of August 3rd, beginning July 27th with an acclimation period. We will have an acclimation period. Our board will discuss all of these things tomorrow. And when I talk to you, I will let you know everything I talk about is current. But when I get in that car and I start answering all these phone calls that I've received just since I've been in here, I never know how our world changes, just like you don't. But I've asked all of our schools to be flexible, to be patient, and be understanding, because our life is not as normal as we'd like it to be. And hopefully this will make us appreciate the good times that we had. You know, I look forward in the fall to waking up on Saturdays and watching College Game Day. You know, I coached for many years, and I've lost perspective of being a fan. I'm a fan again now because I have more time and I don't coach, and I don't have to drive up to Opelika to play the Bulldogs anymore, D-Mark, even though I always like to bring up I used to enjoy that trip. But being a fan again, I want to experience College Game Day again, college athletics, professional athletics, but most importantly, our high school sports for our kids. So if we all practice what we're supposed to do and everybody does their job, hopefully we can have as normal a season as humanly possible. Our board tomorrow will be presented with a plan. We are going to hold a press conference Thursday at 1 o'clock. And Thursday at 1 o'clock, we will release our plan for return to play. But it is a return to play. It is not a delay document. It is not a document that will say we're not playing sports. We will have a return to play document. Now, that can be tweeted. That's why I'm not going to talk about it today. It can be tweaked, by the board. We'll have a work session tonight. We'll meet again tomorrow, and we'll finalize that document. We'll probably have to tweak it again after the board meeting, and that's why our press conference will be Thursday, and we'll get it out to everyone. But we look forward to having a season. We want to provide our schools as much flexibility so they will be able to participate in some form or capacity during the fall season of 2020. We also, I want to thank our staff. We have Alvin Briggs here with us today, who's in the back, the Associate Executive Director, but all of our staff who've worked tirelessly all summer long to put together the best plan possible, enabling our schools to return. I'm thankful that the National Federation of High Schools is providing all of our schools in the Alabama High School Athletic Association 2 free Pixelot cameras, allowing them to live stream events to families, folks my age, 45. I just want to see if y'all even listen to me out there. And I can't believe some of you even smiling on that. But people my age that may not be able to come and be in the stands, or fans if there's limitations placed by local ordinances, that they'll have a way to watch our games. I'm very thankful for the school broadcast programs, the NFHS network, for allowing many of our schools across the state of Alabama to broadcast their games. So we're going to do everything possible to have a high school football season this year. We look forward to working with our schools in providing the safest environment that is humanly possible. Does anybody have any questions? D-Mark, has D-Mark put the hiatus on you? I'll answer a couple of questions. Just say it, I can hear you. I'll repeat the question.
I got one question. Are you going to imply any new rules on equipment, so like
Everybody wear gloves. Great question about equipment, gloves, those types of things. A lot of people, it's a great question because it relates to a lot of different things. A lot of people think the Alabama High School Athletic Association makes game rules or equipment rules. We do not. We are a member of the National Federation of High Schools, which D-Mark mentioned, and that national, every state, Alabama being one, every state out of the 50 states has one representative on a rule on a rule committee. The National Federation Board of Directors institutes all rules for playing. We will release Thursday some rules, modifications that we will have to get ready to play football this year. They talk about gloves, they talk about shields. All of that will be in the National Federation rule modifications.
And one last question on sidelines. Are you going to extend the sidelines?
Yes, sir. That's one of the rule modifications. The question was, what about sidelines? Will they be extended? We'll give the opportunity for schools to extend their sidelines from 10 to 10. Timeouts will go from 1 minute to 2 minutes to allow more time for cleaning. We also have to, this will all be covered Thursday, and it'll be all available to all of you online on our website Thursday. But we will have to be able to hydrate. We have to hydrate differently. Now we have to have hydration for officials. We have to have hydration for our students, personal hydration equipment. So all of this, everything will be cleaned every day. Our coaches have done an awesome job with this all summer long. But I want to say this to all you athletes that are in here. You also have a personal responsibility that when you go home, you're committed. You are committed to the safety of your teams and those around you, because we can take all the steps we'll do at school. I mean, Dr. Mackey has a wonderful plan from the Alabama State Department of Education. But if we don't take care of our personal responsibility once we leave, we could jeopardize our seasons.
Steve, you mentioned it being a return to play plan, but do you anticipate in this meeting tomorrow the things that Mississippi, Florida, and Georgia have been talking about coming up as part of the discussion?
There's nothing that I will say may not or may be part of that discussion tomorrow, because I do think it will be. There's always discussion. And I'll discuss this more on Thursday, but I promise you, every state in the country. I have a call at 2 o'clock today with all executive directors across the United States, and then I'll update our board on that tonight and tomorrow. But it will be discussed.
One more, or is that? Okay, Coach Sav, thank you very much for being here. You and Alvin, I appreciate you driving down. Steve Savarese.
You were really nice to me today.
Yes, sir. I appreciate what you did.
Let me sum up by saying this. To the media, I want to say this first of all. Thank you so much for what you do every day. We really appreciate you. Thanks for telling our story, because we have a great story. We have a great story about student athletes. And this is a special time, and we want to return our children to their childhood. We want them to experience this year, to have some type of athletic experience in the safest environment possible. And thank you for telling our story. Thank you for covering us the way you do. You do an awesome job. And I want to ask for your patience and understanding. I want to thank you for your patience and understanding with me today. But I also want to thank you proactively. The sideline will be different. You may have to go in a corner somewhere. Non-essentials will not be allowed on the sideline. Tomorrow, when we have our board meeting, our staff will not even be allowed to attend. And we have spacing issues. We have an auditorium. We'll make sure we meet the guidelines, but everyone is going to have to sacrifice a little bit. So I want to thank you ahead of time for what you will do during this season. And if you ever have any questions, contact Ron Ingram in our office. He's an icon, and he will be glad to assist you in any way. But I look forward to seeing you down the road somewhere, and God bless you, and please stay healthy.
Thank you. Steve Savarese, ladies and gentlemen.
We'd like to thank Coach Savarese and Alvin Briggs for coming in from AHSAA. We're right here on 910 AM, 1310 AM, The Game, and we're going to take a short break. We'll be right back.
WOTM is the television provider for all Alabama High School Athletic Association championship events and special programs. WOTM is your home for the Super 7 football, state finals basketball, baseball and softball state championships, the AHSAA weekly show, and WOTM also produced the first ever football playoff show, Super 7 preview show, and reclassification reveal show. Your exclusive home for all things AHSAA is WOTM. Contact your local cable provider to request WOTM to your channel line.
While you're at home with family for the next few weeks, don't put off scheduling home repairs. Call Ox Foundation for a free estimate. With more time at home, you tend to notice things you haven't in the past. Mold and moisture in your basement or crawl space, uneven driveways, stair-step cracks in your exterior brick, uneven floors and doors. If your home is showing weakness, it's time to get strong. How strong? Ox Strong. Stay strong, Alabama.
Youth suicide. Don't want to talk about it? You should. Hi, I'm Nick Saban, head football coach at the University of Alabama. 4 out of 5 teens who attempt suicide have given clear warning signs. By knowing the warning signs associated with suicide and knowing how to help, you could save a life. Visit jasonfoundation.com and start learning how you can make a difference.
Students learn sportsmanship from us, our coaches, the administration of the school, the parents. That's how we learn sportsmanship. Sportsmanship is one of the greatest tools that we can give our student athletes. It's respecting the game you're playing. It's respecting your opponent, respecting the field of play. That's what good sportsmanship is, and enjoying the game while you're playing.
Home making you sick? Moisture and unsafe air from your crawl space can infiltrate your home, causing health hazards and high utility bills. Ox Foundation Solutions can remedy any mold or mildew problem in your home. It's time to get strong. How strong? Ox Strong. Get a free estimate from Ox Foundations.
Who's most at risk for coronavirus? People over 65, people with underlying medical conditions like heart disease, chronic lung disease, asthma, diabetes, people undergoing cancer treatment, and people with weakened immune systems. What should you do if you or a loved one is at higher risk? Avoid close contact with people. Avoid crowds. Stay home if you can. Wash your hands frequently. Learn more ways to protect yourself and others at
Third annual High School Football Media
coronavirus.gov.
Days here at the Event Center in downtown Opelika, brought to you by the Orthopedic Clinic. We're live on 9:10 a.m., 1310 a.m. The Game, and we appreciate everybody being here. Jerry, we got our first new head coach, Adam Hunter, for Valley High School. It's Buster Daniel moved over to Lee Scott.
Yeah, Valley had a very successful season last year, won their region, and look forward to big things for them this year.
Without further ado, we're going to go to the podium.
Thank you, Jerry and Eddie. Welcome back to High School Football Media Days presented by the Orthopedic Clinic. Also want to thank our other sponsors, our presenting sponsors, Frederick Dean Funeral Home, Economy Heating and Air, Auburn Bank, Butcher Paper Barbecue, and also Jeff Coat Trent Funeral Home. As Jerry and Eddie just mentioned, we have one of our first new coaches. We got a lot of new coaches here in East Alabama that will be taking the stage here at High School Football Media Days. Our next school, Valley High School, you can listen into their football games on Friday night on our sister station, 100.9 WCJM The Bull. And without further ado, we'll welcome in Coach Adam Hunter.
Good morning. It's good to see everybody here today. We're excited about football season starting. We're looking forward to it. Our guys have really been working hard this off season, given the circumstances that we have. A little bit about myself. This is my 14th year at Valley High School. I've been the athletic director for the past 5 years. Had the opportunity to work with these guys all these years, and they're a special group. They work very hard in the weight room, on the field, so we're looking forward to it. Just want to thank everybody for allowing us to be here and the support we've given. Just a little bit about the off season. When I got the position, it was already June when I got it. So as first year head coach, I kind of felt like I was behind the 8 ball, behind. But you kind of have to settle down and just think that every high school is going through the same thing we're going through. We had to weigh the options of whether we were going to kind of try to bring everybody together at the end and work some football stuff as a team, versus kind of breaking it down by positions. And I chose the positions, just getting those guys in here in their position groups, working out and getting stronger. These guys hadn't worked out since March when school shut down. So you had to weigh the odds of whether we were going to kind of get stronger, physical in the weight room, mentally tough, conditioning, versus kind of putting the X's and O's on the field. So we kind of decided that we wanted to get stronger and faster. So we've kind of been broke up into 3 groups. These guys up here with me, they consist of our quarterback, running back, and linebacker group, and they have kind of set the tone for the summer. They've really gotten after it, pushed the other kids to be the best and really work hard. So we're really excited about our opportunity to play this year. We're moving up to 6A. We're excited about that opportunity. We're going to hit the ground running. We're going to treat it just like any other season that we've had, and that's how we're going to go forth with this. This group has really been a special group because they were the first group to win the region last year in a while. So they've been a part of that success. They know what it takes to get back there. They know what the hard work it takes, the dedication, every day of being here and putting 110% in it. So we're really looking forward to that. We've really stressed the importance of pride. We're trying to build that back into the program. You know, pride for Valley High School, pride for our community, and these guys have bought in. Every day we talk about, you know, we want to be the guys that puff our chest up, walk down the hallway, and everybody looks up to us. And I talked with my coaching staff. You know, the scoreboard's going to take care of itself. If we teach these young men the right way to do things, the scoreboard's going to take care of itself, and we'll be successful. We want to build young men that's hardworking after they leave Valley High School, that they, you know, have all those characteristics, what it's going to take to be that fine young man. We want to gauge ourselves off what happens 5 to 10 years down the road in their lives. There's nothing more special than having a player come back and tell you, thanks, Coach, for all that you've done. You really taught me stuff that has helped me outside the football field as well as on the football field. So that's very important for us. Just to introduce these guys, on my right here, we got Will Kennedy. He's going to be kind of vying for our quarterback position. Josh Heath, be a running back, plays a little bit of secondary for us. And then Dalton Dunn, he's the leader of our defense. He's inside linebacker, play a little bit of running back for us as well. You know, Dalton, he really sets the tone for the defense. He sets us up, gets us aligned, and gets us ready for the play. So we're really looking forward to him being one of those leaders on the defensive side. Same thing as with Will. He's one of those guys that's fiery, gets in there, kind of sets the tone for the rest of the guys, gets them in check, and we get that play rolling with him. We're going to be young up front, both sides of the ball. Defense, we lost all of our defensive linemen, plus we lost our offensive line as well to graduation. So, you know, we're building a program. We're starting from the ground up. We're taking it that way, but we want success too. So these guys are doing a great job buying into it. Just a great place. I want to thank Dr. Hodge for giving me this opportunity to work at Valley High School, to take over this program. It's just a place that's rich with tradition. The community loves Valley football. You know, they really love to see it ran the correct way and see success on the field and off the field, and that's what we're going to do our best to try to give them that, okay? All right, at this time, I'll take any questions.
Adam, you talked about how unusual it was in taking over in June and, you know, with what the offseason has looked like already because of the pandemic. But how easier do you think it was, given that you've been at Valley for so long and you know these kids, just in taking over and trying to get things settled in such an unusual offseason?
It helped tremendously. You know, I knew these kids. I knew what we could do, our strengths, our weaknesses already, what we could build on. I had a rapport with them that I could reach out to them in the months of March through May and just kind of give them that reassurance, being that I was on staff already, to, you know, everything's going to be fine. Let's stick together. We'll get through this. And then when June got here and I got the position, we had already started workouts. I had already kind of took over and as interim basically and started workouts because I knew if we waited, we was going to be even farther behind. So these guys really stepped up and started it up, talking to each other, getting the word out, and creating that excitement about the program, about a change, you know, about building something. So that really helped me being there already. I knew kind of what we could do.
Hey guys, this is for either one of the players. What game are you guys looking forward to this season and why?
We're really looking forward to, I'd probably say, as every year, the Lynette game. You know, last year we had a tough outing with Lynette. Really probably should have done a little bit better than what we did. So we're really looking forward to that game because, you know, it's just right up the road. We talked to each other all summer. I mean, it's for 365 days after the time we play them, whoever won, you know, that's bragging rights. So kind of looking forward to that game.
This is for all the players. You know, you guys have a large freshman and sophomore class. How have you guys been able to kind of bring them under your wing so far this summer?
you know, whenever we have a young team like freshmen, sophomores, you know, we have to be leaders and teach them the ways of, you know, where you may be in the weight room or on the field. So maybe you have a young team, you have to take them on your wing and just lead them as how you was led when you was ever a freshman and sophomore.
This is a question for all three of the players, so you guys can just take turns. But with so much uncertainty this offseason, are there any lessons you've pulled away from it? Not so much about football, but just, you know, life lessons from how this offseason has looked?
You have to realize that you got to be, you know, consistent on your work, even at home by yourself. You know what I'm saying? You got to keep your, you know, what's the word? You know, you got to keep your strength up, you know, keep that work ethic up, basically what I'm trying to say. Either at the house or remember in your mind that you got to get better, just sitting at the house waiting on people to say what we got to do. You
know. Really just a few things that I've kind of taken away from this past summer, and really since being a baseball player, our baseball season got canceled as well. You know, you kind of just think about anything really could be taken away from you. So especially with all three of us being upcoming seniors, you know, you really got to make the most of every opportunity you get when you get it, because you might not know how long you'll be playing or really just doing anything in general. So just trying to embrace and soak up everything you can get for the senior year.
You know, just like Dalton said, you know, you just can't sit at home and wait for somebody to tell you what to do. So you just got to get up and do it yourself if you want to be great or have a great football season.
What have you guys learned so far from Coach Hunter with this being his first year?
Well, I mean, taking that, we've all known Coach Hunter for, I guess, since we were just entered the Valley football program or just Valley athletics in general. But we've taken that there is never going to be a day without hard work, and that you never want to be put in a situation where you don't want to work, and there's always going to be 100% effort given every day with Coach Hunter, and that goes for all of our coaching staff, really.
This question is for Coach Hunter. You're moving into Class 6A, and you're moving into a highly competitive region. You know, what's your thoughts on that? You know, your team's coming off of a region championship. You know, what's your thoughts on going into this season, going into with such tough competition?
You know, jumping up to 6A, that's a total different level of competition, and we're in a tough region. But we're going to take it one game at a time. We're going to take that approach. We're going to get ourselves better every week. If we keep rising, we talk about rising every day. If we keep rising and we get better every week, that scoreboard's going to take care of itself. We want to get out there. We want to compete in 6A. We want to win some ball games. But we want to work on ourselves as young men and getting better at the game of football.
All right, Coach, that's out of time. Appreciate it. Thank y'all.
Thank you all.
We're on 13:10, 9:10 a.m. the game. We'll be right back after this short break.
WOTM is the television provider for all Alabama High School Athletic Association championship events and special programs. WOTM is your home for the Super 7 football, state finals basketball, baseball and softball state championships, the AHSAA weekly show, and WOTM also produced the first ever football playoff show, Super 7 preview show, and reclassification reveal show. Your exclusive home for all things AHSAA is WOTM. Contact your local cable provider to request WOTM to your channel line.
While you're at home with family for the next few weeks, don't put off scheduling home repairs. Call Ox Foundation for a free estimate. With more time at home, you tend to notice things you haven't in the past. Mold and moisture in your basement or crawl space, uneven driveways, stair-step cracks in your exterior brick, uneven floors and doors. If your home is showing weakness, it's time to get strong. How strong? Ox Strong. Stay strong, Alabama.
Youth suicide. Don't want to talk about it? You should. Hi, I'm Nick Saban, head football coach at the University of Alabama. 4 out of 5 teens who attempt suicide have given clear warning signs. By knowing the warning signs associated with suicide and knowing how to help, you could save a life. Visit jasonfoundation.com and start learning how you can make a difference.
Students learn sportsmanship from us, our coaches, the administration of the school, the parents. That's how we learn sportsmanship. Sportsmanship is one of the greatest tools that we can give our student athletes. It's respecting the game you're playing. It's respecting your opponent, respecting the field of play. That's what good sportsmanship is, and enjoying the game while you're playing.
Home making you sick? Moisture and unsafe air from your crawl space can infiltrate your home, causing health hazards and high utility bills. Ox Foundation Solutions can remedy any mold or mildew problem in your home. It's time to get strong. How strong? Ox Strong. Get a free estimate from Ox Foundations.
Welcome back to the 3rd Annual High School Media Days here at the Event Center in downtown Opelika. Brought to you by Orthopedic Clinic. We're live on 9:10 a.m., 13:10 a.m., and we have a press conference tomorrow. I want to remind everybody, Thursday at 1 o'clock, AHSAA will be live on 701 HD Charter Spectrum on WOTM, and it will be live on 9:10 a.m., 13:10 a.m., And, Jerry, we have another new coach. Juan Williams is taking over for a very successful James Lucas.
Yeah, this is going to be the second of 4 straight coaches that are all new to their program. And big changes around East Alabama. We still have some legends still coaching here, but I think Juan's going to do a great job at Lafayette. They got a lot of talent over there every year. So let's hear what he has to say about his new program.
And here we will go back to D. Mark at the podium.
Thank you, Eddie and Jerry. Appreciate what y'all doing as well. Welcome back, everybody, to the High School Media Day presented by the Orthopedic Clinic here at the Event Center, the bottling plant. We certainly appreciate them having us as well. And we certainly appreciate our media being here, our presenting sponsors, Frederick Dean Funeral Home, Economy Heating and Air, Auburn Bank, Butcher Paper Barbecue, and Jeff Coat Trent Funeral Home, some fine folks at all those businesses. As you heard Eddie say, we do have a new coach, back-to-back new coaches. The new coach, of course, Coach Lucas last year gave up his football duties and retired. He's still teaching, but I'm bringing to the microphone the new head coach of the Lafayette Bulldogs, Coach Juan Williams. He has Taquavius Daniel, Jamari Daniel, and Jaquavius Green. Ladies and gentlemen, with no further ado, Coach Juan Williams, the new coach at Lafayette High School.
Good morning. Glad to see everybody here and still healthy and getting through this this time that we have now. My name is Warren Williams. I am the new head football coach, athletic director at Lafayette High School. Got the job, a little bit about myself, got the job here in January. Came down about 20 days later, started the job on my birthday in February. Great things to do in Lafayette right now. A little bit more about me. My 17th year in coaching, 13 as a head coach. Enjoy what we do. Enjoy to see the smile on the kids' face and the things that we do every day. At Lafayette right now, we were able to get in a good little bit of work before the COVID hit. Got to introduce with my kids a lot, got to sit down with them. Right now, we can't help what has come of it. One thing that we've done really well at Lafayette right now is get to know each other. Our kids have got to know me better, understand the standard that I want to preach at Lafayette. They've already been winning, and they're used to winning, and it's my job to keep that going. So right now, our workouts, we go in the mornings. We do it all. We do a little bit of the field, a little bit of the work on the field, a little bit of work in the weight room. Our thing right now is just keep to the standard. That's our main goal right now, is to keep to our standard. And these young men are helping us do that. To my right, Ty Daniels. He's going to vie for our quarterback spot with 2 more guys. Also play a little receiver for us. To my left, Jay Daniels. He's one of our athletes. He'll play multiple positions for us. Also to my left, Quay Green. Quay will be our anchor our offensive line, also help with our defensive line. And these guys have bought in every day. While they're with me today, they've not missed a day with me. They understand what we're trying to do and how we're trying to do it and why we're trying to do it. You know, a lot of kids don't understand why we do the things we do, and they've gotten a great concept of what we're trying to do and why. So is there any more questions for me? Yes, sir.
To the program, can you tell us what your offensive philosophy is?
We'll run a multiple offense on offense. We'll be a little spread, and we'll be a little pro. It's just whatever needs to be done on that Friday night. We're not all the way into being a spread team. We're not all the way into being a pro team. It's just whatever we feel we can do that night into a ball.
Juan, how difficult is it coming into a season when you're trying to figure out the quarterback position, given everything that's happened, especially the fact that there wasn't a spring this year?
Great question. Lost a great quarterback. Went to play college ball. And the thing is that you just go and you look at what was there, and you put them through the process. And that's all we can do right now, is just put them through the process and say, okay, this guy maybe gives a better chance throwing. This guy maybe gives a better chance running. And that's probably the situation we're in now, is finding who can do what in those times.
This is for any of the players. What has it been like with getting to know Coach Juan in a weird offseason like this? But what have you guys taken away from him, and how excited are you for the season?
Well, you know, getting to know Coach is a great thing, because like he comes in and he tells us like the brand, like Lafayette is a brand. After you leave Lafayette, what are you doing? And like that's what he's been preaching to us. Like he teaches us different things besides football. So it's just great. He's just a great guy and all.
This question is for Coach Williams. You're taking over a team that went to the Sweet 16 last year and has had, you know, the tradition and history of making deeper runs into the playoffs. What's it going to take Lafayette to that next level and get them back to that point?
Start being good people. We have athletes at Lafayette. The thing is that what he just told you is, I feel like to get over the hump sometimes, you have to be better people. These young men understand that if I do something wrong, somebody's looking at me. If I do something right, somebody's looking at me. They're understanding to try to not develop only themselves, but their teammates. Because a lot of times if we go in with that top 11 and that 12 guy can't do too much, that becomes a problem. So these guys are understanding the development from A to Z instead of A to B.
Coach, it's your first year as the head coach for Lafayette. It's a Friday night. Give me what you're feeling. How are you experiencing your first game as the head coach for them?
As being a head coach, I'm still like a little kid in the candy store when I first see it. You know, the lights get me. I'm 43 and the lights still get me. And I feel like when the lights don't get you no more, that's when it's time to probably hang them up. So these kids will probably tell you, like, he loves what he do. And the thing is about, like you say about Friday nights, it's nothing like Friday nights when the smoking grill is in the little side in a small city, and you're just looking and everybody's out there. So that's one of the biggest things to me is the lights. You know, I'm just like a little kid in the candy store about it. You know, it just tickles me to death to see it.
How long did it take you to get the lesson on how to say Lafayette?
Sir?
How long did it take you to get the lesson on how to say Lafayette? You got it down.
Been knowing it for a while. We used to play them back in the day, and so I've been knowing it for a while. But yeah, it's not new. Like I told them, I played them way back when I was the head coach at Barber County, and I still remember the road and everything. They said, "You know where it's at?" I said, "Yeah, I'm gonna find a little road where Ike Grant used to take us around in the golf cart around there."
Question for all three of the players. Y'all's rivalry with Lynette is one of the best in the area, and this year it's going to be a little more special because it's a region game, so there's even more weight to it. What's it like being a part of that rivalry game, and how excited are y'all for that edition of the game this year?
Well, when we play Lynette, it like one of the best rivalry ever played because like you get so many scouts coming, all the recruits here just to see you play. And when we play them, it's like when you're in the game, it's like the best feeling ever. When you score a touchdown, catch a pick, like that's the best feeling ever when you're playing against a rival school. And also bragging right. So you know, like we down the road for them, so like it's gonna be good. I say for playing Lynette, you know it's gonna be a lot of people there, so you know you have to come prepared and ready to play. A lot of scouts, so yeah, like.
This year we're playing them. We haven't beat them in the last 3 years, so this year playing them at home, we're gonna have to come with it. Like we can't take no more L's. This our last year, so we got to go out with a bang playing in the net.
This is for Quay. You know, just being the center of the offensive line that brings back a lot of guys, what are you kind of expecting to see from that group?
For my group of linemen, I expect like we work out a lot, put a lot of work in, and we really got like 2 people coming back, like senior-wise that can help play, and rest of them young. So you know, I expect better out of them, all the work that we're gonna put in. So I expect good out of them.
This is for Coach Williams, and this kind of piggybacks off of Jordan's question, but, you know, have you been introduced to the Lynette rivalry, and if so, what's your first thoughts on it?
It's big in this area. Coach Story's done a great job over there at Lynette, and we're just trying to resemble that, to be honest with you. And just like I told these guys, I mean, in a rivalry, you first got to look at yourself. Are we doing what we're supposed to do? And I think, you know, I'll piggyback off what Coach said from Valley. The scoreboard will fit for itself. It'll spin for itself. Because the first person, like I tell our guys every day, the first person you got to defeat is the guy in the mirror. You got to make sure that guy's beaten and that you can look at him every day and say he's ready before you can speak on anybody else.
This question is for Ty. You're in a quarterback battle right now. What are you working on to make yourself the quarterback, and what do you know that you need to work on?
By me being short, it's not difficult, but it's difficult at sometimes. So me during that practice, sometimes I had to take deeper steps. I can't take shorter steps because I'm small. So I had to maneuver different ways than other quarterbacks do. But other than that, I feel like I'm QB1, but I still have to win the job. So.
Guys, thank y'all so much. Coach Williams, thank you. Good luck.
WOTM is the television provider for all Alabama High School Athletic Association championship events and special programs. WOTM is your home for the Super 7 football, state finals basketball, baseball and softball state championships, the AHSAA weekly show, and WOTM also produced the first ever football playoff show, Super 7 preview show, and reclassification reveal show. Your exclusive home for all things AHSAA is WOTM. Contact your local cable provider to request WOTM to your channel line.
While you're at home with family for the next few weeks, don't put off scheduling home repairs. Call Ox Foundation for a free estimate. With more time at home, you tend to notice things you haven't in the past. Mold and moisture in your basement or crawl space, uneven driveways, stair-step cracks in your exterior brick, uneven floors and doors. If your home is showing weakness, it's time to get strong. How strong? Ox Strong. Stay strong, Alabama.
Youth suicide. Don't want to talk about it? You should. Hi, I'm Nick Saban, head football coach at the University of Alabama. 4 out of 5 teens who attempt suicide have given clear warning signs. By knowing the warning signs associated with suicide and knowing how to help, you could save a life. Visit jasonfoundation.com and start learning how you can make a difference.
Students learn sportsmanship from us, our coaches, the administration of the school, the parents. That's how we learn sportsmanship. Sportsmanship is one of the greatest tools that we can give our student athletes. It's respecting the game you're playing. It's respecting your opponent, respecting the field of play. That's what good sportsmanship is, and enjoying the game while you're playing.
Home making you sick? Moisture and unsafe air from your crawl space can infiltrate your home, causing health hazards and high utility bills. Ox Foundation Solutions can remedy any mold or mildew problem in your home. It's time to get strong. How strong? Ox Strong. Get a free estimate from Ox Foundations.
Who's most at risk for coronavirus? People over 65, people with underlying medical conditions like heart disease, chronic lung disease, asthma, diabetes, people undergoing cancer treatment, and people with weakened immune systems. What should you do if you or a loved one is at higher risk? Avoid close contact with people, avoid crowds, stay home if you can, wash your hands frequently. Learn more ways to protect yourself and others at coronavirus.gov.
Welcome back to the 3rd annual High School Media Days, brought to you by Orthopedic Clinic right here in downtown Opelika at the Event Center. We've got another new head coach. He's not new to coaching, but he's new to Lee Scott Academy, Buster Daniels.
Yep, he's back in private school now, so it's a new experience for him, but I know he knows what he's doing, and I think he's going to bring Lee Scott back to bigger and better things.
And we're right on schedule, so we're going to go to the podium.
Thank you very much. Welcome back to the High School Media Days, presented by the Orthopedic Clinic on Fox Sports The Game, 910, 1310, and our great TV partner, WOTM. Our next coach that I'm going to introduce, I've known him for a long time, back to the high school days, and we've been friends for a long time. He started his career at Opelika, went to be head coach at the Valley Rams, his former school, and now he's retired and the new head coach at Lee Scott Academy. I bring to the microphone Coach Buster Daniel.
Thank you, D. Mark. Thanks to iHeartRadio and Fox Sport for what you guys do for high school sports and everything else in the state of Alabama. It's a privilege to be here, and talk about a new journey in my life. D. Mark mentioned, you know, I've been coaching 26 years in public schools and got a chance to retire and go to a great place and continue working with football and working with young men and trying to mold their lives. Lee Scott's is a great place, and I was lucky to have that opportunity. I left a school that was my alma mater. Had 3 years there, and a lot of fond memories, a lot of good people up there, great kids I left. And, you know, we happened to win a region championship last year, which is the first time since 2011. But, you know, that's nothing to do with me. It's all had the kids because what they did up there and how they worked. But I'm excited about being at Lee Scott. A little bit about, you know, we're kind of behind the 8 ball, of course, and I didn't take the job officially till July the 6th. So went to work, and was able to hire some good coaches that love young men, love what they do, got a lot of experience. So we went right to work and started teaching these young men what we need them to learn. And they're kind of behind the 8 ball too, because, you know, they got 2 new coaches in 2 years. So they haven't learned systems, new offensive system, new defensive system, special teams, how coaches want you to play, how they want you to act, how, you know, everything different for them too. So, you know, it's new for those guys, but they've done a great job. They've bought into what we talked about. They've come every day with what we call a lunch pail mentality, ready to go to work. And whatever we ask them to do, they've done. And I think they're excited about the season coming up. It's a different thing for me being in private school. I don't know much about it, to be honest with you. I've been in public school for all these years, but I'm learning fast. They got a little more experience in playing some of the teams that we play, but I'll learn and get right in there with them and hope we can make a good run at this thing. Challenges of being at a private school. Now, Lee Scott's one of the bigger private schools in the state, but still, if you compare it to a public school, it's probably like a one maybe a 2A school. You don't have a whole lot of players. All these guys right here sitting up here with me, and plus about 20 others, we're going to play both sides of the ball. They're going to play offense, they're going to play defense, they're going to be on all the kicking teams. So they've got to get themselves in shape. That's the thing. It's going to have to be a challenge for me and my coaching staff on how to practice. You know, you don't have enough guys where you can line up good versus good and get anything done that way. So we got to be real creative on how we practice, and so we can get better and get ready for games without getting people hurt. We're getting forward to lose anybody. Our schedule. Just talk a few minutes about our schedule this year. Again, I don't know a whole lot about these private schools, and there's some on our schedule I know a lot about. Our first game with Chambers Academy. I know a lot about Chambers because I'm originally from Chambers County. I coached at Valley for 3 years. A lot of those guys we see and talk to a lot. So they are not a defending state champion, but they won a year before last and actually should have won it this past year. So it's a pretty tough game to open up with on a team of that caliber. But, you know, our guys, I think they're up for the challenge. And you know, we can't talk about who we play. If we worry more about Lee Scott and take care of ourselves and we do the things we're supposed to do, you know, the wins and losses take care of themselves. The other school I'm familiar with is Glenwood, right down the road in Phoenix City. Always powerhouse in all sports. So that's another game we got to get prepared for. Again, I don't know a whole lot about the private schools, but I intend on learning, and you know that's our job to get ready for each week, and we're going to do that. So with these kids right here, I'll introduce our players first, and I'll talk a little bit about the coaching staff I was able to hire. You know, Dr. Stan Cox and Miss Donald Lloyd allowed me to hire some coaches, some great guys, and I'll talk about them in a minute. But first off, I got to my left is senior H-back, Y. We call him a bunch of different things. Going to play a little linebacker, defensive line is Ford Fuller. Probably been playing a little quarterback at some point. On the far end down here, number 3 is our senior running back, linebacker, John Allers. And then our junior quarterback sitting right here beside me, and going to play a little bit of safety, probably not a whole lot if I got anything to do with it, because you got to keep your quarterback healthy, is Tate McKelvey. These 3 young men are some of the finest guys you ever want to meet. I could have brought half my team up here and said the same thing about them. They're great kids. They work hard. They do everything you ask them to do, and these 3 are standouts. They're leaders. Whatever they say, most of the time out there on the practice field goes, you know, and once they understand that and they start doing things the right way, the guys are going to follow them. But I'm excited about working with these young men. I'm excited about to see what their season turns out. The coaching staff I was able to hire this year, when I went in, Coach Robert Johnson had 3 coaches last year on the varsity. It was himself, his son, and Coach William Johnson. That was the guys on the varsity. Dr. Cox allowed me to hire some guys, and the first guy I went out and got was named Rick Wade. Coach Wade is a longtime coach. He's got over 30 years experience. He's been all over state. He's been a head coach. He's been assistant and been a coordinator. Just a great hire. Coach Wade is a guy that just loves the sport. He loves kids, and he loves working with these young men. So he's going to be a great asset out there at Lee Scott. Defensive coordinator is Coach Carson Greer. Coach Greer, too, has close to 30 years of experience. He's retired, and he is teaching in Troup County Elementary School, but he's going to work with us and be our DC. Again, man, he is a Christian guy. If you ask these guys, he sends them stuff every day on GroupMe, Bible studies and testimonials and all kind of stuff every day for them to work on. So he's going to be a big asset also. A guy named Scott Casey. Scott Casey is a longtime volunteer at Lee Scott. So I'm going to keep him because he is a great man. He's going to help coach our running backs and work on the defensive line. Jacob Osmond. Jacob is a teacher there. I don't know how long he's been there. A young guy, has never coached football. So we got him out of the classroom. He's going to help us. He's going to coach the wide receivers and work with the DBs. Coach William Johnson, which is also our AD, he's going to be our head JV coach. He is also, like I said, he's AD. He's a head basketball coach. He coaches JV basketball. He's got a family, so he and I talked, and we're going to let him do the JV just for time. I want him on the varsity with us, of course, because he's got a lot of experience. But he's going to be our head JV coach, and we got some young guys that's going to come and help us as volunteers, some students, and one of them is named Eli Culpepper. Eli is a Valley guy. He's going to be Southern Union. And he was a quarterback at Batter for me, so he's going to come help us out with the JV. And Slade Ponder, which works for J. Smith Lanier, he's also going to help us out. And we're going to get a couple of other guys. You can't ever have too many bodies on a football field when you're trying to coach and teach kids fundamentals of the sport. So that's the coaching staff, and we may add a few more guys here and there. Again, I'm excited about being at Lee Scott. Just another chapter in my life. Change over and see what's going to happen here, and I'm excited about working with these young men and representing Lee Scott and the city of Auburn. So if there's any questions, I'll take those now. Right. Well, we haven't got there yet. Now, right now we're just working out, and of course we're abiding by all the rules and protocols with all the face mask and that kind of thing, and we're doing a lot of running and pass routes and that kind of thing. But once season starts and we put on pads, we'll have to do a lot of half lines. Like I said, you can't put good versus good. And we was able to do that at Valley the last 3 years, and of course you can do it at Opelika because you got a lot of kids. It's just hard to go good versus good a long period of time when you got a few kids, especially when you got a guy's your running back and he's going to be your linebacker. So it's kind of hard to put him on the field the same two places at one time. So that's something we'll figure out down the road, and we just had to make a lot of adjustments.
Buster, what has been the biggest challenge for you this offseason in taking over a new program during a pandemic where there was a lot of time you couldn't be with these guys?
Well, the pandemic was back. I was still on contract at Valley, so once I got there, we were able to do things. We were able to go ahead and practice and work out and get on the field and do some things. We couldn't have any contact, of course, but we were able to work them and work out and out throw routes and just talk to them, do a lot of teaching. So everybody's in the same situation. I'm just behind a little bit because I'm a new coach. You got some new coaches like at Valley this year. Everybody's in the same situation, so you just have to put in a little more time and effort with these kids.
This one's for you, Coach. You've been a coaching veteran in the state of Alabama for years in the public schools. What's been the biggest difference transitioning from the public school way of coaching to coaching in the private schools?
Well, the biggest difference that we talked about is the number of kids. That's the biggest thing. The game will be a little different. I'll find out on Friday night. But, when you think about it, football's football. You're going to teach the same way you taught wherever you've been. Blocking, tackling, and catching and throwing football is all the same. So, it may be different kids, but they're all playing the same game.
This is a question for all three of the players, so you guys can just take turns. But, going through all this uncertainty in the offseason, and I'm sure some of y'all might have even been playing baseball and had that canceled. What were some of the lessons y'all took from it, more about life and not so much, about the sports part of it?
I mean, probably the biggest thing is just you gotta take whatever's coming at you, no matter what it is. I mean, we're getting older, we're growing up, we're graduating next year, and in real life, you don't get to just, oh, hey, there's a pandemic, I can't come to work today. You got to adapt and face change. So.
Yeah, just like Ford said, you just got to keep pushing through, just keep working hard. You just got to trust your elements. You got to work hard on the field, just do your best you can.
With the pandemic and everything going on with our school system and bringing on new coaching staff every year, I mean, it's pretty evident we've overcome some adversity, but we grow through it. And I mean, in life, you're going to, face adversity and you're going to see changes in everything that's going on, but really you can't stop for anything. You got to keep going. I mean, if you're going to find, your point B, you got to start at point A and you got to work your way towards it. So stop for nothing.
For the players, again, for all three of you, you've had to deal with some coaching changes, but what do you like about what Coach Daniel has brought to the program and where Lee Scott is heading now?
I love it. I mean, he comes out ready to work every day. I just love the hard work we're putting in. Conditioning, you better give it all you got or else you'll run more. Every single sprint, It's just, that's what we need right now, to get the football program back on track.
Question, if you're going to answer, you can go ahead. Question for Tate. What has the challenge been like as far as, trying to establish yourself as the quarterback, and how much do you think your experience playing there last year is going to help this year?
Last year was a pretty good year from the year before. We won 5 games coming from like 0 for season, It gave me a lot of experience, but I got to compete against myself. Can't look back and look at the past seasons. I just got to keep pushing forward.
This one can be for the coach or any of the players. This team went to the playoffs last season. So, what is it going to take to help it, get to the next point, advance on? You guys, you were in a competitive game, in the first round of the playoffs, but still came out on the losing end. But you guys are a playoff team, so what's it going to take to move forward with the program?
Well, the biggest thing is going to be just doing what they do. You got to work out every day. You got to compete every day. And I talked to my kids just the other day about 2012, the Opelika team. I said, we weren't the best 6A football team in the state, but we made it to the championship game. Because once you get in the playoffs, things happen. You just get there first and let it happen. You got to have the breaks. You got to play good at the right time. So it's kind of what it's going to be here. We're just going to worry about getting there first. And if we work every day and we do the right things the right way, we'll get there. And then once we get in the playoffs, we'll let things happen.
All right, Coach, I know you got a meeting coming up with the AISA. We'll let you get to that. We appreciate it. Thank you, Lee Scott. And the Warriors, good luck this season.
All right, thank you, guys. Thanks for everything y'all do.
9:10 a.m., 13:10 a.m. The Game, WOTM TV. We're going to take a short break. We'll be right back.
WOTM is the television provider for all Alabama High School Athletic Association championship events and special programs. WOTM is your home for the Super 7 football, state finals basketball, baseball and softball state championships, the AHSAA weekly show, and WOTM also produced the first ever football playoff show, Super 7 preview show, and reclassification reveal show. Your exclusive home for all things AHSAA is WOTM. Contact your local cable provider to request WOTM to your channel line.
While you're at home with family for the next few weeks, don't put off scheduling home repairs. Call Ox Foundation for a free estimate. With more time at home, you tend to notice things you haven't in the past. Mold and moisture in your basement or crawl space, uneven driveways, stair-step cracks in your exterior brick, uneven floors and doors. If your home is showing weakness, it's time to get strong. How strong? Oxstrong. Stay strong, Alabama.
Youth suicide. Don't want to talk about it? You should. Hi, I'm Nick Saban, head football coach at the University of Alabama. 4 out of 5 teens who attempt suicide have given clear warning signs. By knowing the warning signs associated with suicide and knowing how to help, you could save a life. Visit jasonfoundation.com and start learning how you can make a difference.
Students learn sportsmanship from us, our coaches, the administration of the school, the parents. That's how we learn sportsmanship. Sportsmanship is one of the greatest tools that we can give our student athletes. It's respecting the game you're playing. It's respecting your opponent, respecting the field of play. That's what good sportsmanship is, and enjoying the game while you're playing.
Home making you sick? Moisture and unsafe air from your crawl space can infiltrate your home, causing health hazards and high utility bills. Ox Foundation Solutions can remedy any mold or mildew problem in your home. It's time to get strong. How strong? Ox Strong. Get a free estimate from Ox Foundations.
Who's most at risk for coronavirus? People over 65, people with underlying medical conditions like heart disease, chronic lung disease, asthma, diabetes, people undergoing cancer treatment, and people with weakened immune systems. What should you do if you or a loved one is at higher risk? Avoid close contact with people. Avoid crowds. Stay home if you can. Wash your hands frequently. Learn more ways to protect yourself and others at coronavirus.gov.
Welcome back to the 3rd annual high school media days right here at the Event Center in downtown Opelika, brought to you by the Orthopedic Clinic, also by Frederick Dean Funeral Home, Economy Heating and Air, Auburn Bank, Butcher Paper Barbecue, Jeffcoat Trent Funeral Home. Jerry, we have another new head coach. He's following another legend.
Yeah,
LC
Cole that went to Park Crossing, which he'll be very successful there. Rico Newton will be taking over Lochapoka, and I'll tell you what, his kids are dressed to a T right
yes,
there.
Yes, they are. They're dressed nicely. I tell you
very
what,
impressive.
I think that they're going to have a new type of discipline there. I'm fairly certain that they can relate better to Rico than they have in the past. You know, they got a lot of adversity to overcome. They've had some years that were not Lochapoka-like.
Right, and they're history rich. They've been down, like you said, the last 5-6 years. But you know, the first starts with discipline. And look at how these kids are dressed. I think they're off to a good start.
Yeah, and you know, we want to mention again that there will be a press conference on Thursday at 1 o'clock. Alabama High School Athletic Association, as Dr. Savarese talked about, is having executive meetings tonight, tomorrow, and they'll have them probably right up until 1 o'clock Thursday.
Yeah, let me say this, Eddie. If you're a high school football fan, watch this, because a lot of answers.
Yeah, and you can watch
everybody has a lot of questions. They will be answered.
And you can watch it live on WOTM. My tongue, I got one, but you can watch it live on WOTM TV, and you can listen to it live on 9:10 a.m., 13:10 a.m. The Game. This is extremely important, like you said, because they're going to talk about all the things that need to be done from players and coaches, but also fans and other competitors, people around the concession stands, everything that's involved in high school sports. And we're going to go to the podium now with Van Riggs.
All right, welcome back to Fox Sports 910, 1310 a.m. The Game, High School Football Media Days. We've got another first-year coach for this particular school, certainly not a stranger to being a head coach. He's made several stops all across the state, including Greenville, where he coached Marlon Davidson, he was just telling me. Also Wilcox Central most recently. From Lochapoka High School, please welcome up Coach Rico Newton.
How's everyone doing today? It's great to be here, great opportunity to be here. I want to thank y'all for inviting us out to give us a platform to talk about our great football team. I want to start off by talking about our administration. Our administration is led by Principal Albert Wheaton. He does a very good job, and also our assistant principal is Miss Alexis Berry. She does a very good job also. Our superintendent, Dr. McCoy, also is at the helms of our leadership. He does a very good job with our Lee County school systems. Also, I want to talk a little bit about our program. We're a 1A program. We're a small program. But also I tell our kids we're a small program with big rewards, small school with big rewards. We have a great administration for as school teachers, have a great staff over at Lochapoka High School. They do a very good job with our kids in the classroom and out of the classroom. Have a great relationship builders with our counselors. They does a very good job with our students also. Our student athletes and also our students also. Lochapoka is a great city. It's filled with great tradition. Goes back to Coach Jones' days and also Coach Tate days with the leadership that's been there at Lochapoka. I try to get our kids to realize we got to get it back to the Poker way. That's what we say, getting our school back to the Poker way, which is getting back to the winning tradition. And that's what we're trying to do. We're working hard each and every day to get us back to that stage where we're at, to that winning tradition. And I look forward to this season, looking forward to working with these great group of seniors and great group of kids and also other coaches in the area to get our program back going. Right now, I'm going to introduce our seniors right now. To my left, we have, to our left, I have Rashawn Butts. Raise your hand, Rashawn. Also, right here, we have Jordan Holly. All right, to my right, I have Brandon Bedgood. And also, in the audience, I have Tyler Harris and also Dexter Rudolph. Dexter Rudolph also. So these are some of our seniors that will be leading us this year on and off the field. Right now, I guess we'll take any questions that you may have. All right, offense and defense philosophy. Our offense will be led this year by Coach Jared Wooten. Coach Jared Wooten, he's been at Beulah High School and also been some other leading places. He's more of a spread type guy. Want to score quick. We want to make sure that we also put the defense in position to be successful. I'll be running the defense. I'll be a 3-4 guy. I'm a 3-4 guy. Come from a 3-4 background, so we'll be running a 3-4 system for us defensive wise. And as a defense, we just want to play hard and play fast. That's the main thing. Keep it simple so we can play hard and play fast. Get to the football.
Rico, with everything going on this off season, how pleased have you been with how your players have handled such an odd off season, and how much do you think that can benefit them as they get older? Some of the lessons they can take from this situation.
Well, with everything going on right now, I think perseverance is the main thing that they're taking away from this right here this year. Our seniors did a great job of showing up and also inspiring our young kids to make sure they're being also at practice also. So I think this year, with everything going on, I think a thing that our kids will always take with them is how to persevere when times are hard. Times are hard right now with everything going on. And so I think our kids are taking away from this is perseverance. By showing up to work, no matter what's going on, you still got to show up on time. You got to be on time. Once you get there, you got to give it all you got. So I think our kids are taking that with them this year right here.
Coach, Lochapoka is a small town, but it's a town that loves its football. In your short time there, how's it been to be around the community and just see how much they love this team in this school?
Man, that is a great community. It's a great community. Like you said, small community, but they love football. They love sports. They love the kids in the community. They love the students. I mean, it's just a great community. Being at a small town, I've been there, I had a chance to meet some awesome people in the community because I go throughout the community meeting people. So I had a chance to meet a lot of last names that's been rich in tradition in that community, and had a great opportunity to sit down and talk with them and just tell them about my plan and what I have, playing ahead for the football team and for the whole community entirety, getting everybody involved because it's going to take all of us as a community to win on and off the football field.
Coach, one of the big things you've talked about this offseason is instilling the POCA way in these guys. In your mind, what exactly does that mean, the POCA way?
The POCA way is winning. It's a winning tradition. Now, when we talk about winning, right now we're talking about winning on the football field. But also, in our tradition, what we're teaching is winning also in the classroom, winning also in your community, winning also on the football field. If you bring all those tangibles together, you'll have a successful football player. So we must win in the classroom. We must win in the community by doing right in the community, by supporting your community, by having good community service. So we must win also in the community, also in the classroom, by doing what we're doing in the classroom with your grades and everything else. And then after you do all that, everything spill over into the field. With your discipline, all that kind of stuff right there for is winning on the football field. So the POCA way is winning, but it's 3 aspects of winning: in the classroom, in the community, and on the football field.
Pretty much the same question for all 3 of the players, so y'all can just take turns. But in your mind, what does the POCA way mean to you?
The POCA way means to me, like when you said like winning, like we used to have like a winning tradition, and like we trying to get back to that. So like we got to prepare ourselves for adversity and through this pandemic.
Like Brandon said, it's about winning. We haven't had a winning season in almost 6 years, so we're trying to change the program back to how it used to be.
They all pretty much touched what the POCA way means. Back in the day, schools and teams used to come to POCA and be like, oh, we can play in POCA. And they know that we was a fierce competing team. So we're just trying to get back to that mindset.
This question's for you, Coach Newton. This team has been so close to making the playoffs the last couple of seasons. What's it going to take to get over that hump and bring this team back into the playoffs in Class 1A?
I think it starts with this group up here. It starts with this great group of seniors. Like I said, we have a great group of seniors. I mean, they hang out with each other, they talk with each other, they sit in the same cafeteria table with each other. You always see them around each other, building that team camaraderie, that team spirit. So I think that, it's going to start with them. It starts with them as them being great leaders, and what they're doing so far, they are being great leaders. And then it goes into our coaching staff, our great coaching staff, what we have. And I forgot to mention them, and they are Coach Klein, Coach Wooden, Coach Billingsley, Coach Chenier, Coach Salter, Coach Barnhill, and Coach Strong. Have a great group of coaches that accumulates with those guys right there to put a great game plan together. So everybody working together, I think that we'll have a great successful season in order to get to the playoffs.
Coach, as you heard with your players who are buying into the POCA way, what's it like to have players, to introduce an idea, but to have players really buy into it? That's got to be the turning point there to get the program on the right track.
Yes, sir. That is a great turning point because, it starts with them, but it flows all the way down to your elementary program, your junior high program. You get all your kids buying into the program, have that sense of pride for your program, and then everything is just taking place. Just getting the kids to buy in, even at this level, even at the elementary level. They're buying into the program, they're buying into the brand that we have. And so once everybody buy in, we can build something there.
Coach, you want to tell us a little bit about the players on the stage, and we'll bring up your other 2 players you brought?
Okay. I have, like I said, Rashawn Butts. He's our starting corner. Senior this year, great kid. Played a little receiver for us, also be playing a little receiver for us this year. Also have Jordan Holly. Jordan Holly plays offensive line and also plays middle linebacker. Had a great year for us this year. Looking forward for a great year for him also. And that's Jordan Holly. Also, I have Brandon Beckgood, the smallest kid on the field, but has the biggest heart on the field. He plays outside linebacker for us this year. Had a total of 70 tackles, I believe, last year for us. And when you look at film, you turn the film on, he's all over the field. Like I said, the smallest guy, but he has a big heart. And so these are 3 guys right here. Our next 2 guys coming up right here now. Our next 2 guys that we have is Tyler Harris. Tyler Harris is the guy right here in front right here. He'll be our starting quarterback. And also, he's played receiver for us last year. But Tyler Harris, like I said, another great senior leader. Come from a tradition of Lochapoka football. And to my left right here is Dexter Rudolph. Dexter Rudolph, we're playing defensive end for us this year. Dexter is a big kid, had a great quarantine workout. Showed up, you can tell that kid right here had been working during the quarantine. Also, he's doing a very great job with leadership out on the football field, and that's Dexter Rudolph. And so this makes up some of our seniors. Like I said, we have about maybe 4 or 5 more seniors that's not here today that's doing a great job also with helping us getting everything back on track at Lower Spoke High School.
Tyler, I'll ask you a question because one thing I was talking to Coach when he said, "Hey, I want to bring 5 players." He said, "These guys are these are seniors." He said, "There's no difference between these guys." But you being the quarterback, talk about being a leader with this group.
Well, as being a quarterback, you have to lead your team to whatever they need to be doing. So as me doing what I'm doing, that helps them see what if I'm doing good, they'll do good. So me as a quarterback, it's like it'll be difficult, but having a strong mindset helps them as well.
A question for any of the players. We've talked about the fact that you guys want to get back to that winning tradition. What would that mean to you for you guys to make the playoffs, especially as a senior?
It'd be big, like a dream come true, basically.
Making it to the playoffs would mean a lot for us our senior year. We will prove everybody wrong, like that doubted us, and show them that it can be done, and show them that we are actually working to get back to the Poker way.
Well, like Brandon said, we want to be declared to let's say we change the whole program around for the younger kids so they can keep it going.
This one's for the players. So one of the bigger rivalries in our area is the rivalry between you guys and Notasulga. It hasn't come out you guys' way in the last few years. How much would a win in that rivalry mean to you guys?
Playing Notasulga is a big-time rivalry where we're from. And us beating them our senior year will mean a lot. We've been falling short the last couple of years, but this year we're looking to turn things around.
All right, Coach, we appreciate it. Welcome to East Alabama football, and good luck Lower Spoke this year.
We're live on 910 a.m., 1310 a.m. The Game, WOTM TV. We're going to take a short break. We'll be right back.
WOTM is the television provider for all Alabama High School Athletic Association championship events and special programs. WOTM is your home for the Super 7 football, state finals basketball, baseball and softball state championships, the AHSAA weekly show, and WOTM also produced the first ever football playoff show, Super 7 preview show, and reclassification reveal show. Your exclusive home for all things AHSAA is WOTM. Contact your local cable provider to request WOTM to your channel line.
While you're at home with family for the next few weeks, don't put off scheduling home repairs. Call Ox Foundation for a free estimate. With more time at home, you tend to notice things you haven't in the past. Mold and moisture in your basement or crawl space, uneven driveways, stair-step cracks in your exterior brick, uneven floors and doors. If your home is showing weakness, it's time to get strong. How strong? Ox Strong. Stay strong, Alabama.
Youth suicide. Don't want to talk about it? You should. Hi, I'm Nick Saban, head football coach at the University of Alabama. 4 out of 5 teens who attempt suicide have given clear warning signs. By knowing the warning signs associated with suicide and knowing how to help, you could save a life. Visit jasonfoundation.com and start learning how you can make a difference.
Students learn sportsmanship from us, our coaches, the administration of the school, the parents. That's how we learn sportsmanship. Sportsmanship is one of the greatest tools that we can give our student athletes. It's respecting the game you're playing. It's respecting your opponent, respecting the field of play. That's what good sportsmanship is, and enjoying the game while you're playing.
Home making you sick? Moisture and unsafe air from your crawl space can infiltrate your home, causing health hazards and high utility bills. Ox Foundation Solutions can remedy any mold or mildew problem in your home. It's time to get strong. How strong? Ox Strong. Get a free estimate from Ox Foundations.
Who's most at risk for coronavirus? People over 65, people with underlying medical conditions like heart disease, chronic lung disease, asthma, diabetes, people undergoing cancer treatment, and people with weakened immune systems. What should you do if you or a loved one is at higher risk? Avoid close contact with people, avoid crowds, stay home if you can, wash your hands frequently. Learn more ways to protect yourself and others at coronavirus.gov.
WOTM is the television provider for all Alabama High School Athletic Association championship events and special programs. WOTM is your home for the Super 7 football, state finals basketball, baseball and softball state championships, the AHSAA weekly show, and WOTM also produced the first ever football playoff show, Super 7 preview show, and reclassification reveal show. Your exclusive home for all things AHSAA is WOTM. Contact your local cable provider to request WOTM to your channel line.
Welcome back to the third annual High School Media Days at the Event Center in downtown Opelika, brought to you by the Orthopedic Clinic. We're live on 9:10 a.m., 13:10 a.m. The Game, also live on WOTM TV. And let me tell you what, this is a great place to be right now. Jerry, it just tells me that we're going to have high school football this year.
Let's be optimistic about it. I'm getting excited. Usually when it hits August, it's about that time.
And we have a coach that, one of the themes that we've heard today is, well, you know, I just took over a couple of days ago, but actually most of them have been a month or longer than that. But remember, a couple of years ago in 2018, Coach John Gartman took over like 3 or 4 days before media days.
Right, it was just an emergency fill-in, and he's done a fairly good job with these kids.
He has done a good job.
They've been right around 500 for 2 years, and hopefully they're going to improve that.
We started asking him questions 2 years ago, and he
said, I don't know.
I don't have any idea right now, but I'll know something.
He'll have a better idea today.
Yeah, he does. And, you know, we're real pleased to be here at a beautiful event center and at the Bottling Company. Some of the other sponsors: Frederick Dean Funeral Home, Economy Heating and Air, Auburn Bank, Butcher Paper Barbecue, Jeffcoat Trent Funeral Home. We also, Jerry, need to mention this as much as we can. All of you that are listening or watching need to tune in to WOTM TV, excuse me, 9:10 a.m., 13:10 a.m. on Thursday at 1 o'clock, because we're going to find out some things about high school sports in general, but mainly about high school football this year with AHSAA press conference.
Yeah, we're going to get a lot of questions, answers. Being a high school football fan like we are, we still have a lot of questions what's going on, and hopefully Thursday those answers will be answered.
And if you've been here with us all day, you found out one thing, that not only do we have questions, but the executive director of AHSAA also has some questions.
Right.
And we're ready to go to we're not ready to go to the podium yet, and that's fine. We've had a little bit of change in our schedule. Springwood's coming up next. Beauregard will come up after them. There's been a little glitch in our schedule, but it's we're right on time today, which is really unusual. Jerry, without further ado, we'll go to the podium.
Thank you, Eddie. I kind of spoke too soon there. All right, we welcome everybody back to the High School Media Days presented by the Orthopedic Clinic. We certainly appreciate the Event Center, the bottling plant here, for allowing us to be here. And thank you very much, all you media that have gathered. And certainly over 2 days, all the high schools that take time out of their schedule and bring their some of their players here. It means a lot to all of us. I think anybody that's involved in athletics appreciate having this smile or a break here and some positive news. Our next school is the Springwood Wildcats out of Lynette. The head coach is John Gartman. I met Coach Gartman. In fact, our first media days, or a couple of years ago, he'd gotten hired like a day before. Not really, but just a few days before, and Coach Gartman came to media days and did a great job talking about a team and some young men that he hadn't really known much or had known very well, but he did a great job. But he's about to start his third year. The Springwood Wildcat head coach, John Gartman.
Good morning. The first thing I'd like to do is thank you all for hosting this event this year and for the exposure it gives to all the local high school programs. This is a first-class event, and I appreciate your effort and professionalism, not just today, but since I've been coaching at Springwood. You all do an excellent job, and if I can ever provide you with any information, feel free to contact me at any time. Well, it goes without saying that this has been a unique off-season. Back in May, we were supposed to have spring practice, and that was canceled along with the rest of spring sports. And then we spent the last couple of months trying to prepare for the season while dealing with a lot of limitations. It's frustrating, but it is what it is, and we've dealt with it. And the players have showed up and worked hard this summer, and I've been pleased with their effort. Going into this season, we have a lot of players returning from last year, including our top 3 running backs and 4 offensive linemen. So we have a talented team with experience in our system, which is always good. And I have a few here with me that I'd like to introduce to you. All right, we'll introduce some players. Over on my far left, we have Trevo Williams. Trevo plays in the offensive line and defensive front. I say defensive front because he can play defensive lineman or linebacker. He's very athletic and an ideal wing T guard. In the offensive line, he'll be joined by Andre Mills, Justin Henson, Jay Davidson, and Braden Mosley. All of these young men have played important roles for us in the offensive line. Next, we have Cannon Key, a young man on my left. Cannon is a jack of all trades for us. At some point since I've been here, he has played quarterback, running back, wing back, wide receiver, nose guard, linebacker, and defensive back. The reason for his versatility is that he's very smart and very tough, and those qualities go a long ways in high school football. A few more key players we have at our skill positions will be Ethan Plank, Cooper Champion, Adam Belk, Will Kraft, and Tyrese Ferguson. Last, we have O.J. Tolbert to my right. O.J. has been our workhorse at running back for several years now, and he's also a great defensive player. By the time this year is over, it's likely that he will have played more snaps for Springwood than any other player in program history. He's been a full-time starter since the 8th grade, and I'm expecting another great season from him. Having said all that, if y'all have any questions, feel free to ask.
John, with the progress the team has made in your time there, and especially coming off a season where y'all made the playoffs, what's the expectations from this group for this year to try to take it to the next?
Well, one thing about it, having a lot of kids coming back, one thing about this season that I really like is that when I first got here a couple years ago, Springwood had been entirely in the spread, hardly ever under center. And so when I came here, we were completely under center in the wing T. So it was a change, not just moving the X's and O's around, but it was also a major philosophical change. And having been here for 3 years now, these guys know my system, and we've got a lot of talent. So I feel like we're prepared to take another step. I definitely hope we can make the playoffs and maybe make a little noise when we get there. So that would be my expectation for this year.
Coach Gartman, you were telling me before when you went up on stage that...
Sorry, who's...
Here I am, Coach. That's all right. You were telling me before you went up on the stage that you've had to do everything outside with your guys as far as working out. If you'll talk to us a little bit about what you've had to endure.
Well, one thing, I think we'll be in great shape because we've done an awful lot of conditioning. We've been outside completely. Yesterday, I believe it was 90 degrees, so the kids ought to be used to the heat. And I think that's, in a way, that'll be an advantage for us, having been exclusively outside, because I think, going into the first game, and we play August 21st, we have an early game. Going into the first game of the year, it's always real important to be in great shape because, you haven't played several games. And, not having had spring sports, I think this year more than most years, it's going to be real important to be in great shape then. So we've done more cardio and all this year than we have in most years. So hopefully that'll help us going into the first game, and we expect it to be real hot. Condition plays a big factor. So that's what we're hoping for.
Coach, I'm Jared Bavera with the High School Scoreboard Show. Can you tell me how many kids you expect to dress out and how many seniors you have this year?
About 25, and we should have 9 seniors.
And you all are 2A?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Coach, you talked about Cannon and the fact that he's played so many different positions. When you're at a school like Springwood, how important is having guys like Cannon that are willing to do whatever you guys need them to do?
It's very important because most of your best players are going to play on both sides of the ball. And, if people start getting hurt, which is one reason why he's had to play multiple positions, you got to have people that are versatile and move around a good bit. So having a player like Cannon, like I said, Cannon's as good a kid as I've ever coached. Like I said, he's very smart, very tough, high-character kid, very coachable, will do whatever's asked of him. So he's played a lot of roles for us, and he's not the only one. We have other kids that play multiple roles. It's pretty much you have to at our level with our numbers.
This is for OJ. Coach Gartman brought up the point that at the end of the year you might be the all-time leading snapper. Can you just talk about that consistency and if you knew that you were approaching that?
Well, I started in 8th grade, and ever since then, it's just been a total different vibe, I guess you can say, because coming into this school, I didn't know what to expect, and when I got here, I was scout team defense, and one day I just decided to turn into a different animal and say I'm going to start and be one of the only ones out of my grade that starts on varsity. So throughout practice or whatever, we was running the scout team defense, and our running back that signed at a D1 college was there that year, and we were just having we were having drills that was called pursuit drills, and nobody from that defense that year could touch him, and I was like one of the fastest besides him. And so when I got out there, they just threw me in the fire, and I attacked the day, and that's when I became the starter. But throughout the years that I've been here, it helped me a lot, because when I was back then, when I was starting, I would say I was about 150 pounds, the smallest guy out there, and now, since I was the smallest guy, most people nowadays are not that big anymore because everybody's going and all the schools are getting smaller in our community, in our league or whatever. So I just have a higher step, and I'm smarter to the ball, and I know more about the game now since I've been starting back then.
This one goes to either any of the players. With there being so much senior leadership on this team, how important is that, especially in, the private school ranks, how important is it to have so much senior leadership on this team?
Leadership is really just a big thing for our program because you don't have too many guys in the first place, so the older kids have to step up and be ready to play wherever they're needed. And really, us three are here, but we have 9 other seniors. And, not 9 others, but there's 9 of us total, sorry. We're just all so close, and there's so much leadership on this team, even in the younger levels. So it's been really great to have that, and it's a blessing, really.
I want to ask you, Cannon, what is your favorite position? And in your mind, what does it take to be willing to play wherever you're asked?
My favorite position, I like to just do different things, I guess. So when I started to play nose guard, that was really the most fun position I've ever played, because usually, you have the bigger guys up there, but I'm only 150 pounds and 5'4", so that's saying something. But it's just fun to be aggressive on that defensive side, so I'll probably go to nose guard. And to your second question, can you repeat the question? Sorry, I forgot it.
What it takes to be willing to
Really, it's just kind of knowledge of the game and just having fun because, I mean, if you're not having fun while you're playing, there's no point in playing at all. So just play wherever you're needed and whenever you can play, just play it.
I personally like to watch Cannon play halfback. He runs a beautiful buck sweep. He looks good running it, and he's also it's fun to watch him in nose guard because he's so quick. He gives centers a hard time, so he's fun to watch.
Question for Trevo, just what would it mean to you for you guys to not only build off of what y'all did last year, but maybe go win a playoff game and keep it going?
Last year, we got put out the first round of the playoffs, and it was really heartbreaking for me to see those seniors go because they were my really close friends. This year, being a senior, I just want to see us go as far as we can, and building off this off season, I think will be really good as far as being in shape enough to go further than we did last year.
This question is for Coach Gartman. This team has constantly progressed upwards in your time at Springwood. What's it going to take to continue to build this program and take that next step?
Well, I think we just need to be ourselves. We've got a lot of continuity. When we start next Monday, the kids have a pretty good idea of what's going on. They know all the terminology. We've got the pieces back from last year, so I think we've got everything in place to make some noise this year.
For any of the players, is there a particular matchup you guys are looking forward to? I know that Chambers is making the move up to 2A. Or
I'm sorry, say that again, please.
No worries. Is there a particular matchup, anyone, coach or the players, is there a matchup that you guys are particularly looking forward to this season?
Just Abbeville, the first game on the 21st.
Yeah, Coach, I know you guys have been doing a lot of stuff outside. Have you guys had a chance to get together as a team yet, or are you guys still doing the different groups for a couple
Not
hours?
yet. We'll start as a team on Monday.
Coach, got a quick. I know you said 2A. Tell us a little bit about the region that you play in, the teams you'll face in region play.
All right. Well, actually, we've got Chambers in our region this year. They moved up to 2A. They'll be our first region game on September 4th. The next week we have Banks. They're new to the AISA. They're out of Birmingham. Don't know a whole lot about them. Later on, we've got Cornerstone. We played them the last 2 years. Fortunately, we were able to win those games. Hopefully, we will again this year. We've got Edgewood after that. They've got a coaching change, but right when Bobby Carr left a few years ago, they were down for a little while, but they built back to being not what they used to be, but still pretty formidable. And then our last region game will be Macon East. I coached there about 10 years ago with Glenn Light, who's been there since the school opened, literally in the mid-'90s. And they'll be, if nothing else, they'll be very well coached. I've still got some friends that are still coaching there that I still keep in touch with to this day. So they'll be well coached, and they've been pretty strong the last couple of years. So we've got a pretty tough region. It's different teams for the most part from last year, but I'd say the strength of it's about the same.
I'll ask one more question. What do you think one of the big keys is to winning in the AISA in your classification?
I think the key to it is the same in the AISA as it is at any level, and that's having really good players first and foremost. And we do have some good players, fortunately. Getting good players, giving them good leadership, put them in the right spots. Whether it's AISA or the NFL, I think that's pretty much the answer to it.
Coach Gartman, we appreciate it. Good luck to you guys, the Springwood Wildcats. Thank y'all.
Thank you.
AM the game and WOTM TV. We'll be taking a short break. We'll be right back.
WOTM is the television provider for all Alabama High School Athletic Association championship events and special programs. WOTM is your home for the Super 7 football, state finals basketball, baseball and softball state championships, the AHSAA weekly show, and WOTM also produced the first ever football playoff show, Super 7 preview show, and reclassification reveal show. Your exclusive home for all things AHSAA is WOTM. Contact your local cable provider to request WOTM to your channel line.
While you're at home with family for the next few weeks, don't put off scheduling home repairs. Call Ox Foundation for a free estimate. With more time at home, you tend to notice things you haven't in the past. Mold and moisture in your basement or crawl space, uneven driveways, stair-step cracks in your exterior brick, uneven floors and doors. If your home is showing weakness, it's time to get strong. How strong? Oxstrong. Stay strong, Alabama.
Youth suicide. Don't want to talk about it? You should. Hi, I'm Nick Saban, head football coach at the University of Alabama. 4 out of 5 teens who attempt suicide have given clear warning signs. By knowing the warning signs associated with suicide and knowing how to help, you could save a life. Visit jasonfoundation.com and start learning how you can make a difference.
Students learn sportsmanship from us, our coaches, the administration of the school, the parents. That's how we learn sportsmanship. Sportsmanship is one of the greatest tools that we can give our student athletes. It's respecting the game you're playing. It's respecting your opponent, respecting the field of play. That's what good sportsmanship is, and enjoying the game while you're playing.
Home making you sick? Moisture and unsafe air from your crawl space can infiltrate your home, causing health hazards and high utility bills. Ox Foundation Solutions can remedy any mold or mildew problem in your home. It's time to get strong. How strong? Ox Strong. Get a free estimate from Ox Foundations.
Welcome back to 3rd Annual High School Football Media Days. I'm Eddie Owen.
And I'm Jerry Bavero.
And you can listen to us. You don't have to watch us anymore after today or tomorrow, but you can listen to us on Friday nights on 97.7 Kicker FM.
That's
on
right,
the high
because
school.
we have a face for radio.
We really do.
All right.
And we're live every Friday night from 10 until midnight on 97.7 Kicker FM, and we're live right now on WOTM TV. I've messed that up a couple of times now. I'm sorry. We're also live on Fox Sports 9:10 a.m., 13:10 a.m. The Game. We have gone through several teams today. A lot of new coaches, Jerry.
Yeah, a lot of changes in the coaching staff. Probably the biggest one was Coach Nix moving into Central, with Coach Dubose going to Lowndes County in Georgia, and really a tough time to come in as a new coach because you got to put in a new system. You can't even see your kids.
Yeah.
So it's going to be interesting to see how the season plays out.
This has been a difficult time for even coaches that have been there for a long, long time.
Right.
Now, with the school coming up in just a few minutes, Beauregard, think about how tough this is that the season they had last year with a bunch of young kids. They went 0 for the season. A lot of the kids that played last year needed that extra time, like spring practice this year.
That was a very un-Beauregard year. I know the people in Beauregard were down, but hopefully they'll have it was a young team, so hopefully a year growing. They should be much improved.
Well, they were in a really tough region last year also, and they're in new regions this year, but, as every coach has said when somebody asks them about how do you feel about playing in your classification, the answer to every one of those is you've got to have good players first, and it doesn't matter what you're playing in, you got to play football.
Yeah, and Beauregard still have a lot of good players, but unfortunately a lot of them were ninth graders. They
That's
played
right.
close to 12 ninth graders We're talking about 15-year-old kids playing against 18-year-old kids. That's a big difference.
It is a big difference. And speaking of Beauregard, we've got some interesting news about a running back that played there a couple of years ago that went out to Arkansas. Is that correct?
Florida State, I believe.
Now, he's gone to Florida State now, but he left Beauregard and went to some other school, and a lot of people thought that he just crashed out, but he's going to be playing at Florida State this year, and we're talking about Webb, of course.
Right. Yeah, there was word that he got a little tired of football, and after a year or two of sitting out, I think he's got that jive to get back, and hopefully he'll be a factor for Florida State because they need some help at the running back position.
I saw a picture of him a couple of days ago, and he does not look like the same kid that played at Beauregard. He's muscled up, and like a lot of other kids that actually go through a good sports program and that has good athletic training and weight training. I think he'll be an asset because, a lot of people thought he wasn't very durable, but we watched him in a state playoff game, ran the ball, 50 times?
At least 50 times. And, if I had to name the top 10 best players in East Alabama I've seen over 40 years, he'd be on that list. Great ball player. Let's just hope everything works out for him, Florida State.
And then, we don't want to talk just about him as a player that's moved on. There are many, many players from East Alabama that go on and play D1 football, but they play in other areas too.
Right. Duke has 2 players that will be playing for him next year, the Chambers kid and the Stinson kid. Opelika has had many kids play at Auburn. A lot of talent in this area. Of course, we know about Phoenix City. They just put out about 12 a year. So a lot of talent here and a lot of great coaches, and that's why East Alabama plays some of the best football in Alabama.
Yeah, we'll have a coach and a team coming up in a little later. Last one today, Auburn High School is putting a lot of people in football in college also.
Yeah, we got to get them to go to Auburn University though.
Yeah, well, I think all of them should. I think all of them should go to Auburn University. But This is a great event that's put on every year by iHeartRadio, and Orthopedic Clinic is very loyal to East Alabama sports. It's been a great thing for football in East Alabama. And now we're going to go to Van Riggs at the podium.
Welcome back to High School Football Media Days presented by the Orthopedic Clinic, and we are moving right along on schedule a little bit. We had a little switcheroo, but we've got Beauregard High School coming up to the stage right now. Coach Rob Carter has been a head coach at Beauregard now for quite some time. I believe we counted it up 7 years, and he's been around the program there at Beauregard since 2005, so no stranger to Beauregard. And I know they had a young team last year and looking to build off that success, so let's welcome up Coach Rob Carter and the Beauregard Hornets.
Y'all must have this for Eston, a little high by me. But no, it's a pleasure being here. I appreciate it, guys. Y'all putting this on for high school athletics and these young men. They deserve every bit of it. That's what we do it for, is to build a character and be with these young men and hopefully teach them some good things and carry on in life, number one. Speaking of that, going to Beauregard High School and being here, it's been great. I have not wanted to leave due to wins or losses. Going to that 1-9 season last year, a lot of people would be disappointed. I thought it was one of the best coaching jobs, and I love that team as much as the ones that won the state championship. And if you don't, you're in the wrong field, because those kids were there every day and worked hard, and when it was tough, and that's what you teach them. The whole goal of coaching and developing character is to teach these young men, you got to keep working, keep striving for excellence, even in the toughest situations. And I think that's what I'm so proud of this group. At 1-9, we continue to get better at the end of the season and really competed. Right now with me, I have junior Eston Harris. You've probably seen a lot of things on him being offered and stuff. He's got a lot of things to look forward to. We got Keyshawn Tolfrey, senior wide receiver for me, big playmaker coming back from last year, probably right at or over 900 yards receiving. And then Trent Jones is a senior, plays multiple positions defensively, and you will see him running the ball this year on the offensive side. Three leaders I have, excellent athletes, but good men. And, you know, like I said, at Beauregard High School, that's the first thing we're going to try to do is build their character into being good men and hard workers, and that's what we've had. We were young last year. We said 10 seniors on a 5A football team coming back this year, 5 juniors, and the rest of it go from there, 20 sophomores, 20 freshmen. But, you know, when you look at the freshmen, I mean, they're sophomores this year. They've got the experience of a majority of a junior team and are really tough football players. And I expect an excellent season. I always do. I'm a positive person. I know we got a lot to work on, details, but we have got a lot of maturity in a young group with these guys that are excellent athletes to lead them in those skill positions. But I expect a good season. We've swapped areas or regions again. About every 4 years, we go either north or south, and we've gone back to the Clay Central side and Sylacauga and up north. So we're familiar with that. Back when we won the state championship run, and you know, we leave the Charles Henderson, the Dothan side, or Greenville, that area. So it's still excellent competition. You know, we're looking forward. Like I said, the first game, I think Coach Springwood said the same thing. All us coaches right now, you know, you got rivals, you got all this, but right now we're all wanting to find out and are anxious to play this first game due to the situation we're having to go through in the world today. But I'm proud of them. You know, if you've got any questions direct to me, I'm better with that. So, shoot. Yes, sir.
Able to have a spring practice this year?
A team practice?
A spring practice, yes, team practice.
Not in the spring we didn't, but at this moment, no. We didn't get them till June 1st, so we missed all spring, correct.
Rob, when you look at these guys and the things they've been through the last few years, whether it was the tornadoes or, you know, the season last year and how tough that was, how much do you think that has allowed them to mature, and have you seen that in how they've handled an off season where so much has been, you know, unexpected and stuff you couldn't anticipate?
Yeah, I mean, those circumstances, you're right. We had to handle adversity during those times. I think our kids have been prepared in that sense throughout our schools in the last few years with that adversity, with changes, you know, and it may be that I'm a unorganized at the moment guy, you know, because my practices a lot of times like today, I will throw a sudden change in. A ball game's never going to be the way you want it to go. Number one, you better be able to react on the sidelines and coach at halftime, or, you know, adjust. I think these kids have been through that adversity. They understand it. We're coached in that sense where all of a sudden we'll change the practice schedule real quick just to see how they react, you know, and make my coaches react different. We do that a lot of times. So, you know, the adversity of these kids, it helps them, the maturity of handling situations that change.
You guys haven't graduated your quarterback. You know, I know that there's only so much you can do before you guys can put pads on, but when you go through a summer like you guys have, what are the sort of things that you're looking for from the guys competing for quarterback that could, you know, put one ahead of the other before you are able to put pads on?
Well, I mean, number one, athletic ability. I mean, you want to put a good athlete, especially in our spread scheme where we use him to run the ball threat. But, you know, leadership, being able to be coached, to make sure he is a coach on the field himself, because he's got to make sure things are aligned before we take a snap. You know, those are the major. And continue to work after the whistle's blown and I've canceled practice, you know. After that, those guys go out there and throw the ball extra or do something extra. That's the kind of kids you want running, you know, the program offensively.
Coach, you had a lot of young guys last year that were able to get valuable game experience. How big is that going to be going into this season?
Oh, it's huge. I mean, anytime you really want a big senior class, but fortunately we didn't have it. But we had a bunch of freshmen, 11 of them, that started games last year. And so, you know, especially 4 offensive linemen were all ninth grade, 14 years old. And granted, they're good athletes, and they're big kids, and they've grown a lot. My son's one of those. But, you know, coming into this season, when we put the pads on, and if you saw us from last year to now, you're going to see a different physical-looking team. Those kids have matured, and mentally they've already played. They're not going to be scared of their first game. They went through 10 games last year, 14 playing against, 5A and 6A talent with some, a lot of upperclassmen in front of them.
A question for all three of the players, so you guys can just take turns. But what's the excitement level for you guys to be back on the field, after the way last year ended, to come back and show everybody that you guys are ready to compete like Beauregard has, pretty much year after year?
We were kind of excited because last season didn't go well, and we really wanted to, prove ourselves this year and show we can actually play now.
Yes, well, very excited. Last year didn't go as planned, but that's how life is. But now we're a better team. We fixed a lot of things, and we want to show people and prove to people that we can play.
Like my two other teammates said, we're very excited. I've been going hard on my teammates. Got to push them to be the best they can be. I don't let up on them on practice, and I look forward to a great season this year. 1-9, it's like it influences us to go harder every practice.
Eston, I'll actually ask you another question. You've been getting a lot of attention, a lot of offers. What has that been like, and what does it mean to you? I've seen, too, LaDamian has been really trumpeting you, just having that kind of support for a guy that means so much to Beauregard.
It's a huge blessing from God, and LaDamian, he's like a big brother to me. I look up to him a lot, and it's just a huge blessing. I continue to work harder from it, every offer, everything. It's just huge to me. It means a lot.
A question for Rob, just how have you seen these three guys and the way they've handled, even going back to last season and the things you're expecting for them to be able to bring to the field this year?
All right. Well, to go back to, when the pandemic started and canceling spring practice, and these guys, they love the gym. They love everything about playing a game. So my phone was constantly texting, and Eston's probably one of the worst, at all times of nights. Hey, Coach, are we going to do this? We're going to do that. What's happening? What are we going to play? Are we going to do this? So that mental part, you can see the stress in these young people, and I'm sure it's everywhere. Are we going to play a season? Are we going to do this? That was big, and they were excited, of course, when we were able to get out, and they were the ones that, pretty much the kindle that starts the fire, or the match. I mean, these guys are the reason they're here. They're leaders. They want it to go, and they want it to go the right way. They don't want the 1-9, but the participation excitement started with these three. I mean, they were always asking the questions, and they've got guys that hang around them and follow them, and they lead them, and it just it just carries on, and that's the same way on the field. They're going to make them be sure everybody's on cue, working hard. That leadership ability, they've got is extreme, and just they're just infectious of their attitude of ready to play this game, ready to change the outcome from last year by giving, erase that memory to maybe the papers or the media or the people that in the public that didn't know exactly what we were playing with on the field on Friday nights. They definitely want to get that bad memory out. Because you heard it. They want to play and change that. 1-9. 1-9, we want to change it. Show you we can play. They can play. There's no doubt about it. I'm excited about this season, and these guys just are, can't tell it right here. They're probably scared to death. But it's just pouring out of them every day we work. Every day.
Coach, I just got a question. Did you bring your football team or your basketball team? Can you tell us how tall Eston and Trent are?
Yeah, we got 6'2" and a little more, and 6'5" and a little more. They play on both sports, no doubt.
All right, Coach, I believe that's it.
All right, appreciate it.
Coach Carter, good luck, and Beauregard.
We're live on 910 AM, 1310 AM, WOTM TV. We'll be right back after this short break.
WOTM is the television provider for all Alabama High School Athletic Association championship events and special programs. WOTM is your home for the Super 7 football, state finals basketball, baseball and softball state championships, the AHSAA weekly show, and WOTM also produced the first ever football playoff show, Super 7 preview show, and reclassification reveal show. Your exclusive home for all things AHSAA is WOTM. Contact your local cable provider to request WOTM to your channel line.
While you're at home with family for the next few weeks, don't put off scheduling home repairs. Call Ox Foundation for a free estimate. With more time at home, you tend to notice things you haven't in the past. Mold and moisture in your basement or crawl space, uneven driveways, stair-step cracks in your exterior brick, uneven floors and doors. If your home is showing weakness, it's time to get strong. How strong? Ox Strong. Stay strong, Alabama.
You suicide. Don't want to talk about it? You should. Hi, I'm Nick Saban, head football coach at the University of Alabama. 4 out of 5 teens who attempt suicide have given clear warning signs. By knowing the warning signs associated with suicide and knowing how to help, you could save a life. Visit jasonfoundation.com and start learning how you can make a difference.
Students learn sportsmanship from us, our coaches, the administration of the school, the parents. That's how we learn sportsmanship. Sportsmanship is one of the greatest tools that we can give our student athletes. It's respecting the game you're playing. It's respecting your opponent, respecting the field of play. That's what good sportsmanship is, and enjoying the game while you're playing.
Home making you sick? Moisture and unsafe air from your crawl space can infiltrate your home, causing health hazards and high utility bills. Ox Foundation Solutions can remedy any mold or mildew problem in your home. It's time to get strong. How strong? Ox Strong. Get a free estimate from Ox Foundations.
Welcome back to the 3rd annual High School Football Media Days, brought to you by the Orthopedic Clinic, also sponsoring Frederick Dean Funeral Home, Economy Heating and Air, Auburn Bank, Butcher Paper Barbecue, Jeffcoat Trent Funeral Home. And if you're actually watching live on WOTM, you have a scroll at the bottom of the screen that gives you a lot of information about where you can watch live and who's sponsoring and some other things that are going on. We'd like to remind everybody about the press conference Thursday. It's really important. I hope all of you either watch or listen. You can watch on WOTM or you can listen on 910 AM, 1310 AM, The Game. AHSAA will be letting us know what is actually going on with football this year.
Yeah, we got Beulah coming up next. Coach Johnson in the 2nd year. You know, he had up and down a year last year, went 4-6.
Yeah, one. I think 3 out of the first 4 games, and then had a tough stretch.
Yeah, they were in a very, very tough region. Every week was a battle. But but they got a lot of good-looking kids, and they brought this number 73 here. I'd love to run behind him. He's a monster.
No kidding. Number 73 is Austin Billingsley, a senior. He's got 3 seniors with him. Caleb Adney, the quarterback, Quentin Hale, offensive line. One of the things that Matt Johnson had to deal with last year was the success that he was following from Cody Flournoy.
Yeah, and he went to Powerhouse in Jackson down in South Alabama. Yeah, when you replace a man that was as successful as he was,
and he was out
tough
of
job.
He was out of the Central program, isn't that correct?
Right. But he did a well job. They had a couple of big wins that people didn't expect them to win. So hopefully we'll hear from him and see what he has back. And I'm not real familiar how many seniors they have coming back. And
we'll find all that out.
We'll find that out shortly.
But some other things that we want to talk about are a lot of people want to know about the safety of football. And you know, COVID-19 is something that nobody really knows a whole lot about. You got so many experts talking about. It's just like everything else on earth, I guess. You got this group over here that says you need to be wearing masks, and this group over here that says if you wear a mask, you're going to get sick. And, you know, what we're trying to do, and we, between takes here, we are putting our mask on. We're trying to do what we've been asked to do to try to make this thing go away quicker.
Yeah, just like the golf course where I work at, we make everybody wear masks inside the pro shop. And I just tell everybody, if you want football, wear the mask. Let's do everything we can. It's not going to hurt. Do everything you can, so maybe we can have football.
And some of the questions that were asked, Coach Savarese, that we'll get answers on Thursday. And he said that I think it was very interesting that he informed us that as AHSAA does not make the decisions on equipment, it's NFHS. And
yeah, I was surprised by that. I thought it was each state made certain decisions, and
but go ahead.
That's going to be real important. Is if they figure out some kind of equipment that might give them a better chance to play, let's do it.
Yeah, and I think one of the things is they're talking about wearing shields and wearing gloves and all kinds of different things. So, you know, I guess we'll find out on Thursday what they've determined to do for the safety. And you know, let's be real about it. The safety of the kids is more important than football.
Oh, definitely.
All right, now we're going to go back to the podium and DeMark Mitchell.
Thank you, Eddie, and welcome back to High School Media Days on Fox Sports The Game, 910, 1310, and our good TV folks from WOTM. We appreciate Vincent and the guys being here today and certainly tomorrow. And media, thank you for being here and look forward to seeing you guys and ladies tomorrow as well. All right, our next school is the Beulah Bobcats, and ironically, Coach Pepper is with us today. He was here last year. They had just had a change of coaching, and Coach Johnson couldn't be here, and unfortunately, Coach Johnson cannot be here today. He sent the information to me this morning, so he apologizes for that. But we got the next best thing to Coach Johnson for his second straight media day appearance, the defense coordinator for the Beulah Bobcats, Coach Peppers. Thank you, Coach.
Thank you very much. First of all, we're excited about football season at Beulah. We're excited the fact that we are able to do this because of all the questions that are going on in today's world. I want to thank the media for being here. This gives our kids great exposure, our football program great exposure, and we appreciate y'all, taking your time out to talk to us about the Beulah Bobcat football season. Coach Johnson is our head football coach, but unfortunately he's not here. He had to get tested yesterday for COVID-19, and luckily he was tested negative, but we're having to follow our protocol, which is he'll be gone for 2 weeks. So he'll be missing the first week of football season next year when we start practice, or next week when we start practice. So what do you do in that situation? Well, you can either lay around and complain about it and worry about it, or you just get up and go to work. And we've got enough guys. You see our 3 seniors here that, and we have more seniors at the school, that we're just going to go to work and do what we got to do to get done each and every day. Before I get started at anything else, I want to say one thing. We are missing one of our coaches. Jeff Lamb has had some medical issues, and I want Jeff to know that we're praying for him, and we hope that he gets back to school as soon as possible. Got a tough schedule this year. We changed, everybody realigned this year, and we got a tough schedule. We start off with Lochapoka on the road, and it was a tough game for us last year. I feel like we kind of got lucky in regards in some of the ways we played, but we, won 14-0, but it was a tough ball game. Our second game of the year, unfortunately, is up in the air because it was against Pacelli out of Columbus, and as y'all know, they have pushed everything back. So we have more questions now. Are we going to try to get a new team? Things of that nature. We simply don't know the answer to that right now. So if you'll bear with us, we may have some changes in the future. Next, we have Pike County at home and Trinity at home. These are both area games. They're new to us. We know a lot about Pike County, don't know anything about Trinity, but we do know that they were in the playoffs last year. And then we were on the road against Montgomery Academy. We're very familiar with them. They've been in our region for the last 2 or 3 years, and they're an extremely tough opponent. Then we go to Childersburg, another area game. Reeltown is our homecoming, 2A runner-up last year. Then we have Goshen at home, and then we go to Dayville, and we finish up with the Lafayette Bobcats. I think they're the Bobcats. Anyway, so that's our schedule. And I feel like that it's one of the toughest ones in the region. I've been at Beulah for a while, and it's one of the toughest schedules that we've had since I've been there. As far as our summer workouts been going, we had to miss the first 2 weeks because of the COVID-19 situation. Then we got back into it, and our guys have been working hard. Our numbers are not where we want them to be. We've got some guys that we haven't seen since March 13th, the day that we got out, because of the situation at home with them, and having fears of this nature and that nature, and not knowing what's going on with it. So we're looking forward to hopefully Monday our numbers going up. We've been averaging about 20 to 25 guys at workouts, and that's a good number, but it's not where we thought we were going to have about 30, 35 guys. So we're a little bit down, but the guys that have been there, they've been there consistently, so we have a good idea who's going to be there Monday. Hopefully we can add some to that. Like I said, our guys have been working hard. It's gotten hot here the last few days, but we've had to put our mask on, so now you get to worrying about wearing the mask and having to work out in the heat, so you got to adjust your body to that. There's a lot of adjustments that every school in the state, every school in the country is having to go through. But the simple fact is this: we've got to move forward. We're going to play at some point, and so we've got to be ready to play. So we've got to work hard. Coach may be there, coach may not be there. A player may be there, may not be there. It all depends on what happens day to day, and you've got to take it day to day. You don't know what's going to happen tomorrow, so you can't worry about tomorrow. You can't worry about what happened yesterday. You wake up in the morning, go to work, get your job done, whatever your job is, and when the day's over with, you wake up the next day and see what you got to do then. So, and you've got to be prepared for that. I've got to prepare the assistant coaches to call the defense in case for some reason I'm not there for a day or two. We're not going to not play because we're not there. If Caleb is not there at our quarterback, we're going to have a game the next, and so we've got to prepare to play with or without them. So that's how you've got to do things. You've got to just be positive, and we have been positive. Coach Johnson has stressed that to us as coaches, to the players. He's done an outstanding job of navigating through the situation. When you have more questions, whenever we sit down as a coaching staff, we start talking, we wind up having more questions than we have answers. So we just say, well, that's enough. We'll come back tomorrow. Maybe we'll have some answers. If not, we just wind up having more questions. But we're just like every other school in the state. And like I said, we're going to wake up tomorrow. We're going to go to work tomorrow. Right now, I want to introduce the players that are with me. To my right is Quentin Hale. Quentin Hale is a senior offensive and defensive lineman. Next is Caleb Abney. He is our quarterback, senior. And then beside him is Austin Billingsley. He's an O-line, D lineman. and he's a senior. And if you have any questions, we'll be more happy to answer them at the time.
Hey, Coach, how many seniors do you have this year?
Well, as I just said, the numbers are fluid because we had a certain number on March the 13th, so we haven't seen those guys. So we don't know. We won't know until Monday. We have based off what we had then. So I don't want to give you that number because honestly, we don't know who's going to be there Monday, who's not.
Okay, you last year your early part of the season went very well, wins and losses, and then you had a pretty tough span. One of the things that Jerry and I do the scoreboard show on Friday nights on 97.7 Kicker FM. One of the things that we noticed was that as frustrating as that is, the kids never quit and the coaches never quit. How does that get you ready for this year?
Well, we do have some senior leadership. We're used to tough schedules. We're used to tough situations at Beulah. So, like I said just a minute ago, we just get up in the morning and go to work. I mean, you can either sit around and complain about the situation, but when you do that, when you stop complaining, you're still in the same situation. So you just got to get up and go to work and push through the bad times, enjoy the good times when they come, win, lose, or draw. As long as we're doing all we can do, that's all we can do. So we've got to be satisfied with the outcomes. So,
Coach, the offensive line is kind of the stronghold of this group, bringing back most of your starters. I think 4 out of the 5. Just what can you say about them and the 2 players? Same kind of question goes to you.
Well, it's real simple. If you know anything about this game, you win games, lose games at the offensive line, defensive line. That's where the games are won. And so we're excited about the guys we have coming back. We do have some very strong, talented offensive linemen coming back who I hope flip over and do the same thing on the defensive side of the ball. But as long as we control the line of scrimmage, we feel comfortable in what we're going to be able to do from a run game standpoint, stopping the run and being able to run the football. So we're excited about that aspect of our football team this year.
Coach, you've talked a lot about, the uncertainty that everybody's faced this offseason. In what ways do you feel like it's caused you to grow as a coach as far as, what you've learned about how to handle different situations that have come up?
Well, I am a disciplinarian. I'm the disciplinarian on the team. And I expect things to be done a certain way. And so I've had to teach myself, I'm one of those guys that if you don't show up for practice, you don't play. Well, I can't be like that now because the guys may want to come to practice and can't be there. So it's taught me, I've gotten a lot more mellow, I guess I would say, this year because with everything that's going on, football used to be, I've actually apologized to my wife before about how I used to be as a coach because I missed so much when my kids growing up and everything because everything was focused on the game of football. And I have learned in the last 2 or 3 years that, it's important, but it's not the most important thing in the world. It's a game when everything's all said and done. And so I've learned to relax, take the good with the bad as a coach. We as a coaching staff, we are communicating to each other constantly, hey, he may not be here because he's not feeling good. He may not, we've got to get used to this situation. I was talking to the offensive guys today, and I told them, I said, guys, we've got to practice 22 guys every practice because you never know, as I said earlier, who's going to wake up on a Thursday morning and test positive. So now that guy's missing. We're still going to play ball. So you can't go out there and say, well, we're not going to kick today because our kicker's not here. You just got to, line up and, do the best you can. So, we're learning how to do that.
Even with so much uncertainty, you guys are one of the teams that returned a quarterback that played. With Caleb, how much growth did you guys see from when he first took over last year to where you guys are going into this fall?
Caleb's a quiet leader. He doesn't communicate real loud like a lot of guys do. He leads by example, and he's learned the offense. He knows what we're trying to do offensively, and he fits in well with our concept from an offensive side of football.
Yeah, this question's for Caleb, kind of piggybacking off of that. Just where have you kind of felt more comfortable this offseason, entering your second year as a starter?
Say that again, sorry.
Just being more comfortable as a starter in your second full year.
Oh, yeah. Well, I feel a lot better going into it, trying to just have fun, enjoy it, don't take it for granted, just enjoy every day, work hard, and I guess everything else fall into place.
Austin and Quentin, so you guys can just take turns. Just how excited are you guys to try to get Beulah back in the playoffs after missing it last year and just be back out there with the team?
Oh, man, I'm excited. Like, we're going to get there, and we're going to work hard no matter what. And my goal is to get third, fourth round. Even more, we're going to get state championship. We're going to work hard, and we're going to show up every day, and we're going to play some football.
Pretty much like he said, everybody's on the team. They're really excited, and we're all aiming, to go to the third or fourth round or further. So.
All right, Coach, I think that's it. Good luck, Beulah Bobcats. We appreciate y'all being here. Coach Pepper, thanks for filling in.
You're listening to the Orthopedic Clinic's third year of media football, high school football media days on 9:10 a.m., 13:10 a.m., The Game, and WOTM TV. We're going to take a short break. We'll be right back.
WOTM is the television provider for all Alabama High School Athletic Association championship events and special programs. WOTM is your home for the Super 7 football, state finals basketball, baseball and softball state championships, the AHSAA weekly show, and WOTM also produced the first ever football playoff show, Super 7 preview show, and reclassification reveal show. Your exclusive home for all things AHSAA is WOTM. Contact your local cable provider to request WOTM to your channel line.
While you're at home with family for the next few weeks, don't put off scheduling home repairs. Call Ox Foundation for a free estimate. With more time at home, you tend to notice things you haven't in the past. Mold and moisture in your basement or crawl space, uneven driveways, stair-step cracks in your exterior brick, uneven floors and doors. If your home is showing weakness, it's time to get strong. How strong? Ox Strong. Stay strong, Alabama.
Youth suicide. Don't want to talk about it? You should. Hi, I'm Nick Saban, head football coach at the University of Alabama. 4 out of 5 teens who attempt suicide have given clear warning signs. By knowing the warning signs associated with suicide and knowing how to help, you could save a life. Visit jasonfoundation.com and start learning how you can make a difference.
Students learn sportsmanship from us, our coaches, the administration of the school, the parents. That's how we learn sportsmanship. Sportsmanship is one of the greatest tools that we can give our student athletes. It's respecting the game you're playing. It's respecting your opponent, respecting the field of play. That's what good sportsmanship is, and enjoying the game while you're playing.
Home making you sick? Moisture and unsafe air from your crawl space can infiltrate your home, causing health hazards and high utility bills. Ox Foundation Solutions can remedy any mold or mildew problem in your home. It's time to get strong. How strong? Ox Strong. Get a free estimate from Ox Foundations.
Who's most at risk for coronavirus? People over 65, people with underlying medical conditions like heart disease, chronic lung disease, asthma, diabetes, people undergoing cancer treatment, and people with weakened immune systems. What should you do if you or a loved one is at higher risk? Avoid close contact with people. Avoid crowds. Stay home if you can. Wash your hands frequently. Learn more ways to protect yourself and others at coronavirus.gov.
WOTM is the television provider for all Alabama High School Athletic Association championship events and special programs. WOTM is your home for the Super 7 football, state finals basketball, baseball and softball state championships, the AHSAA weekly show, and WOTM also produced the first ever football playoff show, Super 7 preview show, and reclassification reveal show. Your exclusive home for all things AHSAA is WOTM. Contact your local cable provider to request WOTM to your channel line.
Welcome back to the third annual High School Football Media Days at the Event Center in downtown Opelika, Alabama, brought to you by the Orthopedic Clinic, live on 9:10 a.m., 13:10 a.m., The Game, and WOTM TV. And we have a big group coming up right now.
Yeah, a team that's always in contention to win the state championship. And you remember last year they were saying Auburn was going to be down. I said I got to see it to believe it. And they almost won the region.
And you know what's really interesting is that at the first of the year every year, for some reason, people are really talking about how poor they're going to play, and then they come out and have a great season.
Yeah, they just great athletes over there and a lot of college football players from Auburn High.
Now we'll go to the podium and D. Mark Mitchell.
Thank you, guys, and appreciate our listeners listening in and watching via TV, and certainly appreciate our media at the High School Media Days presented by the Orthopedic Clinic here at the Event Center and Bottling Plant in Opelika, Alabama. I do want to welcome Mayor Ron Anders, our Auburn mayor in the house today. Glad to have you here, Mayor Anders. It's good to see you. And speaking of Auburn, that's our next team up. It's my pleasure, as you see these sharp-dressed young men here, to bring up another sharp-dressed man, the head coach of the Auburn Tigers, my good friend, Coach Adam Weingard.
Thank you guys for having our team here and having some representation from our ball club. I want to say just thank you to the media for putting on this day. I think it's a great way to promote high school football, and it's a great way to promote all the people in our area and our community. And high school football is obviously a special time each year, and football is such a game that brings communities together and people together. And this really showcases the teams and players and coaches in our area and gets people some insight as to what they're going to get to see. And I think that's the exciting thing about going into any new year is that there's a lot of unknown. And everybody always has some natural excitement to the beginning of the football season of what their team's going to be about, what their school colors are going to bring to the gridiron each Friday night. And every new year offers a great thing called hope. Hope for a good season, hope for exciting times, hope for great relationships with your teammates, hope for good times in the stands and school spirit. And so we're excited about this opportunity. We want to say, first of all, thank you to you guys for promoting this event and promoting all the schools in our area. Okay. Today, the young men that are with me are all four gentlemen from our team leadership council. And so our leadership council comprises of 8 players, some from each class of the football team. But these are 4 senior players from our leadership council. To my far left is Matthew Caldwell. Matthew's a quarterback for us. Started half of the season last year and is back returning to play for our football team. Noah Warren is a safety. He's been offered by the University of Tennessee at Chattanooga as a great player, as a 2-year starter. Really dynamic football player that does a lot of good things on the field. To my first right is Anthony Espinal. Anthony is a defensive lineman, started for us last year in the front, and returns to anchor a group of guys that I think has a chance to be really, really good inside. And then my far right is Bernard Thomas. Bernard's a linebacker for us. Bernard's going to be on about every special team that we have this year, and he's a true warrior. He's a workhorse and a guy that loves to compete and loves to work every day. So we're excited to have these 4 guys here. They're class gentlemen, and they're guys that represent everything that our program is about. That's a good person, that's a good student, that is somebody that's going to represent our program with character on and off the field, and that's somebody that can also perform on the field. So our program, every year, everybody will ask this question, what do you want to get out of your team? And our answer is always the same. We want our players to leave with a great experience playing football, and we want to maximize our team ability level. And to do that, you got to have guys in your team that have habits of excellence in lots of parts of their lives, because our habits all line up. All right, so we want to have a plan for a young player's life and everything. That's how they are involved in our community. That's how we develop them as young men. That's how we help them achieve to their level of standard in the classroom. That's how they perform on the field. And we always say that all these things, if the player's life was a Venn diagram, they'd all cross over, and what you see in the middle is going to be the ultimate performance. And we don't want any area to suffer, because we want them to be the best total player they can be and to be the best total team we can be. All right, and so this year it's no different. We want our players to have a great experience. We want to grow as people. All right, and then we want to be the best team we can be with the players that we have. And our goal is to win a state championship, because I think we have really good football players, and I think we can compete at the highest level. And so we're excited about football. We're excited about the opportunity to start. And I guess now we're going to open up for questions. No questions? Good. Let's go. Okay.
All right, Coach, we all know this is a unique year with this COVID. No spring practice, I assume. Can you hear me, Coach?
Who's answering the question? Okay, gotcha.
This is a unique year with the COVID. No spring practice, I assume. How many seniors do you have coming back? And obviously, if you have a lot of seniors coming back, the job might be just a little bit easier to get them rolling back, get ready for football again.
That's one thing we've talked about, that we think that we have a little bit of advantage this season. We do have several guys returned that played last year. We have 15 returning starters from last year's football team. We do understand that every team is different, so it doesn't matter if you have a lot of guys back or not. What's going to matter is how we gel together, what kind of team chemistry we have, how we play together, because you've seen a lot of talented football teams underperform. So I think it helps to have guys that play, but the process of being the team is always going to be the same. Not having spring practice, I think, is a little bit of a deterrent, but it's the same for us. It's not like anybody has a competitive advantage. Nobody had spring practice. For us, the big thing is it kind of takes away that evaluation period for a lot of younger players. So, at Auburn High School, our ninth graders are not with our school, right? So our big evaluation time is in the spring for those guys. So they're going to make up almost half of our roster, all right? So you asked about numbers. Right now in the summer we have 145 players, 10 through 12. We have 47 seniors, and then about 60 of those kids are going to be sophomores. 65 kids will be sophomores on the roster. So without that spring evaluation period, it's really hard to tell where all your players are going to come from, and a lot of depth players at certain positions, because as much as you try to emulate football and practice and work out in the summer, it's just not the same. There's no way you can replicate that until you have live for real practice and teaching kids expectations of practice and how it's really going to run. So the preseason part of our team is going to be really critical this year.
Adam, you mentioned how, unpredictable this offseason's been. How happy have you been with how your guys have handled it, and what are the lessons you want them to take away from the things they've had to deal with this offseason?
Well, first of all, when the pandemic hit, our first thing was we wanted to create a platform for, first of all, just communication. We were actually on spring break when this all started, so we never had an end meeting with them. It was never, hey guys, school's being postponed and we're going to do this. There was none of that, So, and then like I said, we had not even really had the contact with the upcoming 10th graders involved with our roster yet. So the first thing we had to do was create an online platform to get everybody involved. And then once we did that, what we tried to do was recreate April and May virtually. And that's with workouts, with meetings, through skill development, whatnot. So there was a lot of online teaching, a lot of online meetings. There was a lot of videos by coaches on things they could do at home on their own. And our message was basically that every opportunity or every situation provides an opportunity for growth, okay? And most of these kids, the great thing about the school day is that it provides structure and constant accountability. They have their teachers for 8 hours a day, they have their coaches, and then they go home. So there's accountability lined up throughout the entire day. When you take that away, that's really not present. They're becoming they have to be self-sufficient, right? So for us, it was an opportunity to grow in self-discipline, that guys were going to get better or worse during that period of time, whether they wanted to or not, and they were going to create new habits. So, and it was going to be evident when you came back who created good habits, who created bad habits, and we've seen that some just through our workouts, so it was the opportunity to create better life habits, to be more self-disciplined as a player, to take more responsibility, to work on your own without a coach, teacher, or somebody pushing you. And I thought for the most part our guys did that. Now, obviously, you have a lot of young people, so young people make young decisions too, and you deal with that. But I think that comes from our players have been fortunate enough to have enough success over the past couple of seasons that they're hungry for more success. And I think they understand there's a price to be paid with that. So I was really pleased with a lot of guys that we have returning and guys that want to get involved and kind of how they handle it on their own. It's a lot to ask for a teenager, and it's a lot to ask. And I read a study the other day that said that in a male, the human brain is not completely formed to your 25 years old. So it was to me, it's a great opportunity for growth in a lot of areas and challenge them in ways that have not been challenged before. So.
Question for Matthew, as a quarterback, you've had to do this kind of on your own, not be around your teammates so much. What have you done to stay sharp and be ready for the next season?
Well, staying sharp was the easy part because we had all our meetings and we were always studying the playbook. And our film from last year, we studied that a lot, so it was pretty easy staying sharp. Just working out on your own was the biggest thing we did. We had our workouts given to us by our coaching staff, so it was pretty easy to stay sharp, and that's about it for that.
And then I have one for you also as well, Matthew. You played in a lot of big games last season, coming back again, playing at quarterback. How much more confident do you feel, even though COVID might have been a damper to spring practice, how confident do you feel leading this team?
I think we all feel really confident, all the seniors returning, because we know what we're capable of, we know what we're capable of doing, and so I think that really gives us a really good feeling about ourselves and what we can do this year.
And then for you, Coach Weingarten, I do have another question for you as well. Aaron Diggs, he was a big workhorse on your offense last year, but, just getting a more look at your depth, how much depth do you have at running back, and what is that team going to bring to the table?
Yeah, so that's a great question, and obviously Aaron, once he took over that role, he was probably 80% of our offense, so we have a lot of skill guys returning. We have all the running backs that backed Aaron up that started the year. They all return, Killian Massey and Tristan Pittman, and George Wright ended up playing some at H-back, and he's back. And then we're looking at maybe a few defensive guys on that side too at the tailback position. So all those guys come back. There's a lot of receivers back from last year's team. So there's guys that have played, but there's nobody that's had to really tote the load or be the guy, so to speak, to make big-time plays all the time. So. But the bottom line is that, all we want for every player is just to be the best they can be. And I think if they all do that, they can make up for that production and create more production as a team in their own way. So we just got to, sometimes your best offense is make sure a certain player gets it a lot of times, and sometimes the best offense is spreading the ball around. So that's the purpose of it. And we play team football, and we don't ever put the whole game on one person's shoulders, but you're right that the running back position will be a key position for our team. Anybody that touches the ball is the most important player. The ball is the game.
Coach Weingarten, it's no secret that you guys play in one of the toughest regions in the state of Alabama, but you have a lot of people coming back. You have the majority of your starters coming back. How important is that experience going to factor in? How important is that experience, I should say, going to factor into how you guys play this year?
I think it's really key because they understand the level of speed and competition and what it's really going to be like. You can't match. You can as much as you can, but the adaptation of the game and playing the lights is a totally different ball game. So typically if you have an inexperienced team, you're trying to create as many of those opportunities as you can in the summer and the spring, through your competition periods, through situational football practice, through high-level 7-on-7 tournaments, through OTAs when you're bringing in teams to compete, to try to put them in those game situations, right? And so you can at least test them a little bit, because the biggest thing with young players is how can they transfer knowledge from group period meetings, whatnot, onto actual 11-on-11 playing? Because when you get out there and it's for real competition, the great players can apply knowledge quickly and execute, right? And so you never really know that until you put them in those situations, So having guys back that we have seen kind of go through that is probably a big plus for us based on this current pandemic, right? If we had a team that we had very few players that have played, there would be an extreme amount of unknowns, because they had their first time of really been through that would probably be really week 1. So it would be a major growing process.
A question for each of the players, so you guys can just take turns. But with this offseason and everything you guys have faced, what are some lessons that you guys have pulled from it? Not so much about football, but just life and the things that you kind of learned through this whole process.
One lesson I think that we as players and just we as people have learned throughout this pandemic is that, don't take for granted, what life throws at you. And, all these things that we've been blessed with, and, all the things that are given to us, like going to football games, March Madness got canceled, just sports in general. So just making ourselves available as possible. So when it comes down to it being taken away from you, you can always have it and, cherish it. So I think that we should just take it all in and not take it for granted.
I think that one thing that we could all take away from just everything that's happened is that you can make opportunities out of anything that God gives your way, and I believe that all of us have had to make our own opportunities in the midst that we can't practice as a team together, that we also have to congregate together just to have that bond to be able to last throughout a game and throughout a season. And that's, I believe, really vital to our success, is just making sure that you stay with your teammates, making sure that you keep them accountable, and it's easy to lay away from everything that you're taught, and it's easy to forget all the things that you're taught. But I believe that just making as many opportunities as given your way is a very important lesson to just draw away from this crisis, I believe.
Like Bernard said, don't take things for granted, and we cherish those moments. And like when the pandemic shut down, everything shut down, we got a few friends, went out to the field, and we just keep working, start working until the football season actually come up, and we hoping for a season. And so everybody just keep working until we started, and then we just cherish those moments and don't take things for granted.
I think when the pandemic hit, it was a big heads up for everybody. It was like a self-check for me. I think it was a self-check for a lot of other people to make sure you're doing what you're doing when nobody's around. And that's what you had to do the whole time. So I think that was the biggest thing. It was a big self-check for everybody, either play sports or not. I think that's the biggest thing.
All right, Coach, we appreciate it. I think that'll do it for us. I think those final questions.
Sounds good. Thank you, guys.
Thank you. Coach Adam Weingarten.
We're live on 9:10 a.m., 13:10 a.m., The Game, and WOTM TV. We'll be back here again tomorrow morning at 8 o'clock, beginning with the Orthopedic Clinic. The schools that will be participating tomorrow are Dadeville High School, Smith Station, Russell County, Notasulga, Lynette, Benjamin Russell for the first time for Media Days, Glenwood, Reeltown, and we'll end up with Opelika We have a great schedule for tomorrow. We hope that you'll be here with us again tomorrow. Once again, there's a press conference on Thursday at 1 o'clock. It'll be for AHSAA. It will be broadcast live on WOTM TV. It'll also be broadcast live on 9:10 a.m., 13:10 a.m., The Game. Jerry, we got to see a lot of good coaches, and one of the things that one of the coaches said that I'd like to bring out is he said, this time of the year, one of the things that all of us have is hope.
Yeah, and seeing these kids, and let's be optimistic. Let's hope we have a season, and you know, Coach Savarese is doing everything possible to get it done, and you know, do what's told, and maybe we'll get there.
Well, and another thing is how disciplined each one of them are, and what they're talking about is going on with their team, and how they're trying to stay fit and ready to play. And everybody's ready. They're all tired of COVID-19, but I tell you what, today was a great day. Look forward to tomorrow. We'll see you here again tomorrow morning at 8 o'clock. Thank you for joining us today for the 3rd annual Media Days from high school football in East Alabama. And with that, we're going to end today, and we'll see you tomorrow.
Be safe.